Hello, my spookies. It's time to take another deep dive into the best of 2025. Oh, I didn't even do that on purpose. Tonight's novella-length episode was a mini-series last year, which reminds me, there's a brand new mini-series dropping every Wednesday this month, so make sure to check that one out. This is pulled straight from the coldest corner of the WeeklySpooky feed. The story begins the way so many bad nights do, with nerves, music, and the promise that this time you'll be brave enough to try something new. A date, a party, a room full of strangers who smile like they already know how your night ends. And then, someone suggests a game, the kind that's supposed to be harmless, the kind that's supposed to be funny, the kind that only gets dangerous when the wrong person is the one watching. And the bottle isn't the only thing being spun. So, settle in and remember, in Strickfield, nothing is what it seems, even something as average, unassuming, and common as an empty bottle. The bottle is a vessel. Spin the Bottle by Rob Fields. Saturday. I'm looking at myself in the mirror one more time. I applied my makeup. Looks good. I really love the new hairstyle. Got it frizzed and crimped in 80s fashion. For a while now, I've been slowly transitioning from present fashion to those of the 80s. First, I started dressing the fashions. Then I decided to get the hair and do my makeup to match. My parents were both children of the 80s. They listened to a lot of classic music from that era and showed me quite a few of their favorite movies. Oh, I've had people give me a hard time, but I really don't care. In fact, that's why I gave myself a total makeover. I'm going on a date shortly. I recently met a guy from the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity. I can't forget how I caught him staring at me after I got my cappuccino from the bitter end in Wilder Hall. His name is Grant Wild. People call him Wild Man. Anyway, he approached me and started talking to me. You look at Grant and me together and you can tell we're two very mismatched people. Grant looks like Eric Draven from Right Out of The Crow. Whether it's the graphic novel or the movie, take your pick. Only difference is he doesn't wear the makeup on his face. He was skinny and wore all black, long shirt, jeans, boots, and a trench coat. He even has long, wavy, dark hair. And there I was, an 80s-looking girl, standing next to this guy. When I started feeling more comfortable around him, I smiled and talked to him. The more we talked to each other, the more I realized I was genuinely becoming attracted to him. We started walking around Strickfield University together. I hadn't realized we walked clear across campus until we ended up by the fraternity houses. It was then when he asked me if I would consider going on a date with him Saturday night. Tonight. I immediately said yes and told him where he could pick me up. From there, we also exchanged phone numbers. Once we parted ways, he started texting me almost immediately. I couldn't believe how much I was already liking Wild Man. I kept wondering if I was really dreaming. You see, I've never been out with a guy before. Don't get me wrong, I had plenty of guys wanting to date me back when I went to Shore City West High School. I just was never interested in guys. That's right, I've only ever been with or dated other girls. I started to feel and understand that I was attracted to my own sex back when I was in junior high. Honestly, I thought I was a lesbian. I was even in a few relationships with other girls. The second and longest of my two relationships began in junior year of high school and ended at the end of freshman year at Erie Shore University. I just started my sophomore year here at Strickfield University, and I can't believe I've really got the hots for a guy. I'm feeling my heart pounding as I'm giving myself one final check in the mirror. I keep telling myself I did a great makeup job, then my eyes fall to my cleavage. I bite my lower lip and realize I haven't even considered that we might actually have sex. Like I said, I've never been with a guy until now, so I'm technically a virgin in the heterosexual sense. What if he really wants to take me to bed tonight? I ask the other me, looking back at me. Am I really ready to cross that line and be intimate with a guy? I sigh hard. I decide I'm not going to push things. If he decides he wants to have sex with me, then I'll take that step with him. I already know I really like him. Every day this week he's been meeting me in between classes, and we talk. We've been texting each other like we're still in high school. I jump when the sound of getting a text brings me out of my thoughts. I grab the phone, only to have it come right out of my hand and land on the floor. I groan and pick it up. Again, it comes out of my hand when I get another text and my phone vibrates. I pick it up one more time and shriek when I feel another text and drop the phone again. I pick it up again and finally hold on to it this time to see I've got 4 messages. 3 are from Wildman and one is from my recent ex, Whitney Dalton, who people call Whit. I'm ready to delete Whit's message, but old habits die hard. I open it and see she sent me a titty pic. I used to get turned on by all the nudes she'd send me. Then I close my eyes and wonder how the fuck Whit even got my new phone number. After breaking up with her, I went to the cell phone place and got my number changed. I only gave it to my parents and my stepsister, who swore they would never give Whit my new number. Then there was Wildman and one other girl here in Strickfield. Still, even if those close to me never gave Whit my new number, she's got ways of finding out whatever she wants. She's that goddamn obsessive, especially with being a med student. She also works as a mortician over in Shore City. I even blocked her email address, but that accomplished zilch. All she had to do was create new accounts and pick up right where she left off. Now Whit's abundant chest is staring right at me, as it had for so many years. I compose myself and quickly delete the pic. Just leave me alone, Whit, I groan. Then I open the 3 messages Wildman sent. First one says he's on his way. The second one says he's all mine. The third one says he only wants to make me happy. Wow. We just met and he's already... I moan romantically. Then I get a sudden 4th one, saying he's waiting for me outside my dormitory. I compose myself and boldly walk right out of my room. I go down to the 1st floor and walk outside to see Wildman leaning against a light post, still very much looking like Eric Draven, and he's supposed to be a frat boy. You'd never guess. "Hi, material girl," he says softly. He's been calling me that since he says I easily look like Madonna from her self-titled debut album. I smile for him. Did you know that Material Girl isn't on her debut album? It's on her 2nd album, Like a Virgin. When I reach him, he easily takes my hand and brings me right to him. You're easily the #1 hit on my pop chart. Our eyes meet. I keep mine locked with his, wondering if he's going to kiss me. Well, I resolved that if he truly wants to, I'll let him. I've already come this far. He really rocks my world. He caresses my cheek and seems so ready to give me my first ever kiss with a guy. Then I feel myself trembling. Wildman smiles sweetly and moves his hand from my cheek to take hold of mine. How about we start off with Denoyer's Grill? Then we can explore downtown Village after, he suggests. I nod quickly. Let's go. Wildman and I hold hands as we leave Strickfield University. We walk to Denoyer's Grill and have an awesome dinner. When we finish, we head downtown. This must be where people referred to as Downtown Village. There's actually all kinds of things to do here. First, we got into Bobbletopia and check out the cool bobbleheads there. After that, we explore more of Downtown Village. When we see there's actually a video rental place here, we head into Strickfield Video and see it's very much open for business. This place is actually packed, too. Wildman says he's got a membership here and we can rent a few movies. Then he gets a text. He reads it and returns his eyes to me. My fraternity's having a game night tonight. Want to go see what's up? If you don't, we can rent a few movies here and be alone. Or is there something else you'd like to do? I smile. What kinds of games do your fraternity play? He shrugs. It depends. Most of the time we play board games. Other times we play party games. I raise an eyebrow. Party games? Yeah, you know, he says. Truth or Dare, Never Have I Ever, Spin the Bottle, just to name some. How about we go check out this game night of yours? I choose. Wildman takes my hand again. Your wish is my command, material girl. From there, we leave Strickfield Video and walk back to the university. I was soon going to learn I had made the wrong choice tonight. Wildman brings me into the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity house. It's no surprise that his brothers are dressed like normal people. Still, they don't seem to mind Wildman dressing the way he is. Wildman and his brothers speak to each other as if they've been in the fraternity together for years. Turns out Wildman also transferred to Strickfield from another university. Earlier, he told me he had gone to Ohio State for freshman year. After the year was over, he really didn't want to go back and talked to his older brother Larry, who's a student here himself. Larry told Wildman how much he enjoyed Strickfield U and said he should transfer. He didn't really need to be told twice. He had already gotten in with the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity at OSU and transferred into their house here. He told me he wished he had known about Strickfield University a long time ago. Wildman brings me into the main living room where the rest of the brothers are. Looks like they have girls with them, too. I recognize a few from classes I'm currently taking. I've never really talked to them, though. Then I see my friend Blake Karen. Turns out she knows Wildman herself. In fact, she used to date him before they broke up and became just friends. She looks my way and gives me an approving nod. Look at you, rocking the 80s, she says when she comes to us. Any idea what games we might be playing? Wildman asks her. Blake tells him they're not 100% sure, but it's sounding like possibly adult-themed games. Some of these girls here are looking to get laid, she hints. Wildman turns back to me. We don't have to stay here if you don't want to. Just say the word and we'll leave right now. I smile. We can stay. He raises an eyebrow. You sure? I nod. We can stay. Okay, he replies. Eventually, it's decided we're going to play Spin the Bottle. It's then when a late couple comes into the living room. I don't really notice the guy so much. It's the girl accompanying him that's just utterly breathtaking. Not because of her extravagant beauty, but because I know how poisonous she can be. Whit Dalton is actually here at Strickfield University. I'm sitting on Wildman's lap as he's holding me. He's surprised when I quickly shoot right to my feet and go straight to Whit. Seriously, get the fuck out of here and just leave me alone. I told you we are never getting back together. I can't believe you came all the way here from Shore City like this. Whit smiles sweetly. Why, sugar tits? I have absolutely no idea whatsoever you're talking about, she says in her always purring voice. Then she takes hold of the guy's hand she came here with. It just so happens Willie and me met at the strip club outside of Strickfield. You know, the one called Sexpectations. Since I'm a student here now and so is he, I decided to hook up with him and let him show me around. I'm all settled in Strickfield. I even got a job working at the hospital morgue as a mortician. And now, here we are. You and me meeting here like this is strictly coincidence. You? A student here? Bullshit! I disagree sharply. You know fucking goddamn well I'm the reason you came 500 miles to Strickfield. Wit smiles sweetly. I learned her smile is always a double edge. On the positive side, it's a very beautiful smile. On the negative side, it also doubles as a wicked one. Then she turns into her so-called date and starts rubbing and grabbing at his crotch. Soon she's got him very excited and just keeps going. Now her eyes meet with his, and they start kissing. He even starts groping and squeezing one of her large breasts through the cup enclosing it. All this is doing is pissing me off. No, I damn sure ain't jealous. I just know the truth about Wit. Up until I broke up with her, she was like me and had never been with a guy in any capacity. I'm ready to grab Wit away from the horny guy and start game night off by giving the brothers a cat fight they wouldn't soon forget. But my new prince has again come to my rescue. I gasp when I feel him taking my hand and squeezing it gently. When I feel him guiding me away from what could have been a vicious fight, I let him bring me upstairs and to his room. Once inside, he closes the door and turns to me. You okay, material girl? I shake my head. No, not really. He sits on his bed and pats a spot next to him. I know he won't try and get me naked. I'm right when I sit. Talk to me, he invites. I'll listen. I sigh. Whit Dalton down there used to be my fiancé. He's not even the slightest bit upset or turned off. I'm listening, he reminds me. I tell him that I'd gotten with Whit back in high school. She was the new girl and was also on my basketball team. When she caught me staring at her perfect ass after bending over during a game, she decided she wanted me right then and there. Like I said earlier, she was like me in the fact that we both had only ever dated other girls. That very night in the girls' locker room shower, Whit just did it. She went right for my jugular when she surprised me by suddenly coming into me and kissing me. Just like that. Our relationship began with us taking a shower together. Whit and I became an instant couple. Our dates consisted of us meeting up at either my house or hers, where we'd either have sex in our bedrooms or we'd leave the house and go fuck out in public somewhere. Our sexual relationship became more sizzling and intense. Eventually, we realized we were madly in love and started doing things for each other. We had been together through the rest of high school. When we went on to university, we became even more romantically entangled. Then, one of her old flames came back into her life. Remember how I just confronted Whit? The same thing happened there. Whit swore up and down that she and her ex were finished. Before we finished our freshman year, Whit suddenly sprang a marriage proposal on me when she took my hand and got on one knee. She declared her eternal love for me and presented me with the most beautiful engagement ring. I said I'd marry her. 1 week later, I returned to our apartment. I was supposed to be on vacation with my family, but it got canceled due to a huge mistake in overbooking. I was going to surprise Whit, only when I came into our bedroom, I was the one who got the biggest surprise ever. Whit and her ex were naked on our bed together, having a taco mashup. Oh, the look on Whit's face when she was busted. I'd later find out Whit had been sleeping with Roxy, I don't know her last name, ever since they rediscovered each other, cheating on me countless times. Whit tried to tell me they weren't together the way we were. That was when I busted her in the face as hard as I could. I knocked her ass out and broke 2 bones in my hand at the same time. The pain in my hand was nothing compared to the pain of my second heartbreak. After that, I would learn that Whit would never leave me alone. Whit had haunted me all during summer break. That was when my parents suggested I transfer to another university. My parents had always been very supportive of me, even when they found out I was into girls. I accepted my parents' offer. They made a few phone calls and got me transferred to Strickfield University, which was 500 miles from Shore City. I even got my phone number changed to a completely new, unused number. Still, Whit clearly learned about everything and is now here in Strickfield. I already told you she got my new number and sent me a nude of herself. I'm crying by the time I finish telling Wildman everything. Please believe me when I say I'm not just using you to cover up my pain. I really do like you. Our eyes meet. Then I give Wildman my bold look that tells him it's up to him if he wants to kiss me. He looks at me like he's not sure, but he keeps coming in towards me. I don't back away. I really do want him to kiss me. He finally does. Our arms go around each other. We're kissing like we've been seeing each other for a long time. My first ever kiss with a guy, and I love it. We have a long, deep kiss. I don't even realize I'm flat on my back. His hand is on my cheek and caressing me there. He makes no move whatsoever to undress me or feel me up in any way, although I'm sure I won't freak out or fight him if he wants to. When we finally stop kissing, I smile. He feels me trembling underneath him. You okay? Wildman asks. I nod quickly. Yeah, I tell him. Kiss me again. He does. And it's even better the second time. Again, he makes no attempt to undress me or feel me up. Again, I think I'd let him. I'm still trembling underneath him. He tries to get off me, but I quickly snatch him and keep him on top of me. Soon, someone's knocking on his door. We stop kissing so Wildman can go answer it. It's Blake. She asks him if we're taking part in game night. Wildman turns to look at me. I give him a look that says I'll go along with whatever he wants to do. We're coming, Wildman tells Blake. I get off the bed and we head down into the living room. I was hoping Whit would be gone by now. No such luck. She's still here pretending she's with that Willie guy. One of the other guys says the girls got together and decided they want to play spin the bottle. There are no objections. I myself have never played it, but I am familiar with it. The rules of the game are that you kiss whomever the bottle lands on. Then fucking Whit is quick to add, looking directly at me. We're playing the version of the game where the girls can and will kiss each other. I shake my head fast. Fuck you, I am never kissing you again. Then one of the other girls sneers my way and asks if I'm too prudish to kiss another girl. Now the other girls are giving me shit when they start chanting, "Kiss the girls!" repeatedly. When they finally stop chanting, I tell them they can kiss each other all they want. I myself would not be kissing these girls and let them know that on no uncertain terms. I'm so focused on the other girls I don't see Whit come up behind me and ease her hand into the cup of my top. She moans softly as she's holding me to her and squeezing my raw breast. Now she's kissing my bare shoulder. I'm struggling to fight Whit off as she's determined to hold on and keep feeling me up. Wildman and Blake finally get Whit off me. I turn around and belt her right in the face, giving her a bruise. She surprisingly doesn't even get pissed. She just gives me that double-edged smile and lets the two other girls take her to a bathroom. There's a bit more arguing before the brothers get together and discuss it. When the brothers agree on what's to be done, they announce what they call the girls' rule. All girls have to announce whether we'll kiss each other or not when our spin lands on our first girl. Once we announce our decisions, we can't change them. No picking and choosing. We all agree to the rule. We finally gather around in a circle. It's then when Wit returns and sits with her fake guy. Her bruise is clearly covered with makeup. One of the brothers brings them up to speed on the girls' rule, which Wit also agrees to. One of the brothers places an empty beer bottle in the center. I spin first and get to kiss another guy. From there, the game plays on like so. On each of my turns so far, I'm fortunate enough to keep landing on other fraternity guys. I have no problem kissing any of them, even Wit's. Whenever I land on Wildman or he lands on me, we really kiss it up. It takes long enough, but finally I land on my first girl, Blake. When everybody awaits my decision, I feel Blake wants to kiss. I kind of want to kiss her too, so I consent to kissing the other girls and meet Blake in a kiss. Her lips are really soft and taste kind of sweet. I don't know how many times I've spun since the game started, but it's my turn again. I'm getting scared now when the bottle seems to be slowing to a stop at Wit. It kind of stops in between Wit's date and her. I don't wait for an official call and quickly move across to kiss Willie. Wit suddenly springs up and comes right in between us. "Oh, no, sugar tits," she purrs. The bottle clearly landed closer to me. That means you kiss me. You agreed to kiss every girl, now play by the rules. And kiss me. I look Wit right in the eyes. No fucking way. An evil smile. I knew you'd bitch out, but I don't care. I want my kiss. Fuck off, I yell, and back away. Suddenly, Wit pounces on me and pushes me down onto my back. Make no mistake, sugar tits, Wit purrs. I'm kissing those luscious lips. I feel her hand up my skirt and on my panties. And I do mean both sets. Wildman tries pulling Wit away, but she shakes him off. Blake soon comes to help. Wit and I are in a struggle now and start rolling over one another as she keeps trying to kiss me. I keep blocking her at every turn. Finally, Blake forces Wit off of me. Wit breaks loose and comes at me again as I'm almost to my feet. She takes me back down. I'm getting my kiss, sugar tits, Wit promises. She sneers now. Fine, if I can't kiss your lips, then I'll gladly kiss these. Wit scratches the cups of my halter top and yanks hard on them. I hear and feel my top breaking at the straps and then being ripped completely down the middle. Wit throws my destroyed top on the floor and backs me up against a wall. Her hands are feeling my now naked, enhanced breasts. It's no secret we Mirren females pride ourselves upon being endowed. Depending on what Mirren community you live in, you hear different things. Here in Strickfield, being endowed is a requirement. In my community west of Shore City, it's a rite of passage. In fact, when I turned 18, Mom took me to get my breasts done. Personally, I couldn't wait. My mom will tell you I'm a very vain person. I greatly admire both my beauty and my body. Once I got my breast enhancement surgery and had my coming out party shortly after, I truly felt like a Mirren woman. So, in other words, each Mirren community does things differently. You could say we're each our own tribes. Just the same, large breasts are commonplace among Mirren women, regardless of which community they represent. Getting back to now, I'm fighting like hell to get this crazy bitch off me. Wit keeps squeezing my breasts and trying to kiss me. Wildman and Blake have been keeping her from doing the latter. Finally, Wildman manages to pull her off and away from me. I don't even bother trying to cover my nudity. I'm way too pissed off now. Wit breaks loose and comes at me again. She's so dead set on kissing me in whatever demented fashion she's thinking. She's not paying as close attention as she should. I haul off and bust Wit in the face with everything I got, much like that day when I broke my hand. Unfortunately, I break my hand again. In fact, I feel the same bones fracture. I cry out in pain, but at least I knocked Wit on her ass. Then she slowly turns to face me. The next thing I know, blood is coming out of her mouth fast and dripping on the floor. When she opens her mouth more, broken teeth practically flow right out, along with more blood. I think I counted 3 full teeth. I barely feel Blake wrapping a blanket around me to cover my nudity. The other girls are around Wit and offering to take her to get medical attention. She doesn't argue and goes with them. Wildman gets me back to his room so he can give me one of his t-shirts. Then he takes me out of the house, puts me in his car, and drives me to Strickfield General Hospital. Saturday, 1 month later. My hand has been in a cast since punching Wit. I did indeed re-break those same bones. Wildman has been there with me every step of the way. I told him a few times if he wanted to find and date someone else, I wouldn't stop him. He said I was his material girl and that he would invest his time and energy in me. I'm finding myself caring more and more about Wildman, especially when he let his fraternity brothers know he would see whoever he wanted to see. He wouldn't forsake me for the good of his frat. His brothers never gave him a hard time about me after that. Wildman has been to my house in Shore City a few times. You want to know something? My parents and stepsister just adore him. Mom even pulled me off to the side and told me I had to keep him, and that he was a perfect match for me. For the record, my parents and stepsister hated Wit. As for Wit herself, you just know I haven't seen the last of her. When Wildman and I reach my dormitory, Wit's standing right by the entrance. She doesn't even look mad. Her face looks normal again, as in no dark bruises. I'm sure she got her teeth fixed. My guess, she probably had to get replacements. Wit looked right at Wildman, then at me. You're gay, sugar tits. Don't even kid yourself. You can't fight your true feelings for me any more than I can for you. Eventually, you'll realize what you're going through is just denial. You'll remember you're gay, and we belong together. Now she's right in my face and giving me her sweet smile. I'll admit I deserve what you did to me for what you saw that night. So I accept you punching me the way you did last month. Also, you just don't understand what you do to me, both physically and emotionally. You have such amazingly soft skin. You know what? I'll even admit fault at the spin the bottle game. Wit laughs now. You cost me 6 teeth, sugar tits. You sure hit hard when you're pissed off. I know I've been a very bad girl when it comes to you and deserve what you did to me. I know I fucked up, and I'll have to live with that. She raises her finger. But make no mistake, sugar tits. I will win you back. You know deep in your heart you love me, and we belong together. In fact, I'll never stop pursuing you until you willingly let me taste your lips again. She looks down at my crotch. Both sets. Back up to my face. No matter where you go, I'll always follow. Even in death, you'll never escape me. I love you forever and ever, Samara Mirren. And that's just how it is. I shake my head quickly. Just fuck off, Wit. The truth was you cheated on me. You broke my heart. You drove 500 miles and moved here for nothing. I'm seeing Grant now. We're still in each other's faces when I tell her. We are over. Go back to Shore City. There's nothing for you here. Whit gives me an evil sneer. I bet you can't even bring yourself to let your so-called man here be intimate with you, can you? Because you know you can't be with him. Because you know you're only attracted to other females and you belong with me. In fact, I'm going to give you some sizzle off my steak. Not caring who's watching, she blatantly exposes her breasts. I know you're still dreaming of these beauties every night. Don't worry, every line and curve of my delicious body will always be waiting for you, my love. Again, you will return to me. Not if, when. I shake my head slowly. Again, Whit, you cheated on me. You had all of me, and you blew it to fuck Roxy. Now get the fuck out of here and go back to her. Whit laughs and covers her breasts back up. Then she walks off. Before she goes out of sight, she makes sure I see her before she blows me a kiss. I tighten my fists. Then I cry out in pain at my right hand. Shit! I can't help myself and cry. Wildman comes around to me. What if she's right? I ask him. Do you still love Whit, Samara? He asks. I look him in the face and shake my head slowly. No, Whit broke my heart, Grant. I can never trust her again, or be with her. She didn't love me enough to stay loyal to me. I come into him and hold him. I want to be with you. He holds me to him. When we finally separate, I tell him I do want to be intimate with him. Wildman puts his finger and thumb on my chin and smiles a little. Then we will. But only when you're ready. Don't feel like you have to be sexual with me to prove something to yourself or to me. Do it because it's what you want. I won't force you. Will you stay with me tonight? I ask him. Wildman and I have slept in the same bed together and even made out, but we still haven't gone all the way. Just the same, he comes with me to my dorm where we'll spend the night again. I just don't feel safe knowing Whit can show up at any time. 1 week later, Wildman and I are out on another date. I finally got my cast off my hand. Tonight I'm wearing some rather revealing clothes, just for him. I can't help how I'm feeling at this point. We're still sleeping together, either in my bed or his. I've finally decided I can't wait for him to make moves on me any longer. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate him for not treating me like I'm obligated to have sex with him. But my feelings are becoming too much to bear. I'm wearing the revealing outfit hoping it'll entice him to take me and make me his. I just want him to make the first move. That's all. I offer to bring Wildman to my dorm since I know we'll have plenty of privacy there compared to the frat house. Instead, he counteroffers to take me to his parents' cabin, where he assures me we'll have all the privacy we want. We're outside the cabin door now. Wildman finally does understand what I want when he backs me up against the door and kisses me hungrily. I kiss him with just as much hunger. When he moves to kiss my neck, I groan and give him further incentive to touch me. Then he finally pulls down my top to expose my ample breasts. He takes them in his hands and fondles them as he kisses me again. This is it. We're finally going to have sex tonight. I'm finally going to give Wildman the rest of my virginity. I'm finally going to experience a man. And if it's this man, I know I'm going to enjoy it. I moan as we kiss hot, as he keeps fondling my breasts. My groaning should tell him I can't wait any longer. He kisses his way down to my exposed tummy, tasting my nipples first. When he lowers himself further and kisses my belly button, he reaches inside my miniskirt and relieves me of my panties. I'm so ready for Wildman to go down on me when a breeze brings me back to reality. Wait, I pant. Then I bite my lower lip. It's chilly out here. Can we go inside? Then I promise I'm all yours. And going inside the cabin with Wildman is the last thing I remember. Before I suddenly wake up on my couch, in my dorm room. I can see it's morning. What the fuck? I gasp. When I get off the couch, I look to my left. Then I quickly bring my hands to my mouth and scream. Whit Dalton's body is hanging off a noose behind my couch. How long has Whit been hanging there? I move to the door and turn on the lights. Now I can see Whit's makeup is smeared from what looks like lots of crying. Her wrists are also slit and bleeding. Then I see the suicide note pinned on her top. I promise I'll never cheat on you, ever again. Sunday morning. I knew Whit Dalton could be crazy, but I never imagined she'd resort to suicide. On impulse, I get on the couch on my knees and reach out to touch her body. I poke it in the stomach and quickly withdraw. I get back off the couch and go to my purse to get my phone and dial 911. It's not long before I see I'm having issues. What the fuck? I'm really not getting through? I look at my phone carefully. Shit, of all the fucking times to not be able to get a signal. I've never had any issues with my phone in the dorms. Why now? I have to get outside and try to get a signal. I leave my room and head downstairs and go outside. Really? I groan. I still can't get any service? I go further away from the dormitories, where I finally get a signal when I reach where University Drive cuts between the dormitories and some other buildings. I call 911 again, only for the phone to die on me. Then I briefly see the flashing battery on the screen. Shit, of all the times not to have any charge on my phone. I'll see if I can borrow someone else's to call the police. I head back to the dormitory and go inside. I see someone upstairs and go up. Before I can call out to her, I see the door to my dorm room is open slightly. I remember closing it fully. I head back in knowing I'll see Whit's dead body again. However, I'm in for a huge surprise. What the fuck? I utter when I see a second figure in my dorm room. If I didn't know better, the figure looks like death, except the shroud is hot pink. Then I see the figure has Whit's body over its shoulder, her heart-shaped ass facing me. Who are you? I stammer. What do you want? The figure remains deathly motionless for the longest time. Finally, the pink death reveals a gun and shoots me. No! I scream. I see the dart sticking out of my shoulder as I drop to my knees. Whatever's in that dart works fast. The last thing I feel is the side of my head hitting the carpet. I'm finally opening my eyes. It takes a little bit, but everything starts coming back into focus. Eventually, I see Wildman and Blake are here with me. You okay, Samara? Blake asks. I start to sit up but yawn hard. Blake takes my hand and helps me sit up. You okay, Samara? Wildman repeats. Just, so tired. Then I remember and take Wildman's hand. What happened last night? Wildman shakes his head slowly. I don't know. Last thing I remember is bringing you into my parents' cabin. When I can get to my feet and walk, Blake looks at both of us. Seriously, what the hell happened to you two? I came by the cabin because I wanted to see how things turned out between you two. Then I come in and find Wildman laying on the floor. And you're not there at all, Samara. Wildman laughs. Spying on us, huh, Brooke? I knew I never should have told you about last night. What, were you hoping we'd invite you to join us for a threesome or something? Blake rolls her eyes and smacks his arm. Just because we used to fuck hot and heavy when we were seeing each other, especially in your parents' cabin, doesn't mean I'm itching to fuck you again. Wildman looks at her seriously. Why did you break it off with me? You never told me. Blake sighs and puts her hand on the side of his face. I thought I told you. We've known each other since we were kids. Then we got drunk back at your parents' cabin after passing midterms our senior year in high school and we fucked. We thought we had something, so we started seeing each other, but all we ever did was fool around. We never went out on dates or anything like that. Not like what you and Samara are doing. Over that summer, I realized I couldn't bear to not have you in my life. We love each other, Grant, but we were never in love. I broke up with you before we went too far in our little affair because it could destroy our friendship forever. Wildman takes her hand and smiles. You're right. I don't want to lose you as a friend either. They have a quick hug before turning back to me. Okay, now, what happened to you, Samara? Blake asks. Before I can say anything, Blake gets a call on her phone. She answers and talks for a few minutes. After she hangs up, she tells us she's got to go. I promised Mom I'd be by the house. She says I never spend any quality time with her and Dad anymore, so I'm trying to drop by once a week and see them. I missed last week, so I'd better get going. We both say goodbye to Blake and watch her leave. Wildman and I turn to each other. When I yawn hard again, he takes me in his arms. Come on, let's get you to bed. You sound like you want to sleep some more. Then I turn into him and hold him to me. Don't leave me alone, Wildman. He nods and escorts me to my room. When we're at my bed, I easily get naked by slipping off my revealing outfit I had worn on our date last night. I can turn around, Wildman stammers. No, you won't, I stammer back. I'm really trembling again when I go into Wildman again and kiss him. He holds me close and kisses me back. I know I'm still feeling tired from whatever that shit was the Pink Death shot me with, but my excitement is countering my fatigue. When we stop kissing, I pull back the covers and get on top of the mattress. I need you, Wildman. He can't make any more excuses and undresses me to join me in bed, where my body and my virginity are his for the taking. Friday, 2 weeks later. I've been waiting for the Pink Death to strike again. I did tell Wildman I saw him and what had happened with Whit. He asked if I called the police. I told him they probably wouldn't have believed me. Right now, we're coming back from a date and are heading to the Zeta Beta Tau house. We haven't had sex again since our first time 2 weeks ago. During a movie at the Strickfield Centennial Theater, We couldn't stop making out or groping each other. We knew we needed to go at it again. We enter the frat house and head upstairs to Wildman's room. As soon as we're inside, he locks the door. Once we start kissing hot, it doesn't take long for us to undress each other and start having sex right on the bed. No getting under the covers. The lovemaking is even better the second time as we satisfy each other's desires. In fact, we don't even care who hears us. I really have been missing out all these years when it comes to guys. Eventually, we become tired and finally do get under the covers together. Since our first sexual encounter, we've been sleeping together regularly. Not just to be with each other, but because it seems safer than being alone. Or so we thought. I wake up to find I'm in a dimly lit room somewhere, with only a window bringing in any kind of light. I know I was naked when I was sleeping with Wildman, but now I'm wearing an oversized t-shirt. I also find I'm zip-tied to a wooden chair's arms at both wrists. I'm also secured at my ankles. As I'm clearing my head more, I see 3 other people are zip-tied. We're all seated at a round table. I know these people. I didn't remember their names from when we were playing Spin the Bottle that night, but I do now. The girl across from me is Lita Sharp, who's from the Alpha Delta Kappa sorority. The 2 guys are from Wildman's fraternity, Brett Molar and Dean Ackles. We're all looking at each other as if asking, what the fuck is going on here? We get our answers soon enough when everything turns to luminescent lighting. And that's when the Pink Death suddenly enters the room, glowing brilliantly under the light. The figure moves around the table triumphantly. How did this bastard get us and put us all together like this? Eventually, the figure stops moving and looks all of us over. I know you're all wondering why you are here, we hear a disembodied voice saying. It doesn't sound like the Pink Death is actually talking. Then again, we can't actually see who it is underneath the shroud. The Pink Death produces an empty bottle and puts it at the center of the table. Then the figure looks at all of us again. It's time for one of you to die. The only way we can settle that is to simply play another round of Spin the Bottle. Obviously, none of you can take a turn and spin, so I must do it for you. One spin will determine which one of you will die. Why does it have to be this way, you ask? Because the rules were broken that night. Also, they were not enforced. So I must now rectify that. The question is, which one of you will pay the price? The Pink Death reaches in and gives the bottle a spin. It stays right where it is and spins fast a few times before it starts slowing down. My eyes are wide open. Unlike the others, I'm not screaming. I'm not sure if I'm too scared or just didn't think to scream. The bottle finally stops on Dean Ackles. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, the voice echoes. Suddenly, the Pink Death produces what looks like a funnel connected to a rubber line, much like what fraternity boys use when they're doing beer bongs. The Pink Death comes to Dean and pops him in the stomach to get him to cry out and open his mouth wide enough for the rubber line to be able to be shoved down his throat. The Pink Death produces a clear bottle and pours it into the funnel. Suddenly, Dean starts screaming, which I'm surprised he can even do with that hose down his throat. His screaming stops, but the rest of ours doesn't, when we see Dean's throat dissolving and his shirt getting soaked with blood. fast. The shirt itself then burns away, exposing Dean's ribcage. The pink death turns to face the rest of us. This round is finished. Then an eerie, horrible laughter fills the room. When it finishes, the voice concludes. We'll play another round later. Then I see the gun in the pink death's hand. The next thing I know, I'm shot in the shoulder with a dart. Like the first time in my dorm, I'm quickly fading out. The last thing I understand is I smell perfume. It's very faint, but I can smell it. Then everything goes black. Saturday morning. Wildman's waiting for me when I return to my dorm. Where did you go? He demands. I woke up and you were gone. I've been trying to text and call you, but you never answered. Then I got frat brothers asking me if I've seen Dean anywhere. Usually he's there with the guys for breakfast. Like you, he's not answering his phone either. I give him a dismal look. I can tell you what happened to Dean. I was there, wild man. Come inside and I'll tell you everything. When we sit on the couch, I recount all the ghastly happenings. Before I can finish, I feel my stomach gurgle and quickly run to the bathroom. When I drop in front of the toilet and puke, Wildman is right there to hold my hair up. Thankfully, my puking doesn't last long. After a few dry heaves, I start feeling better. You okay? Wildman asks. I shake my head and stand up. Hand me the mouthwash. He does. Then I swish and spit. I face Wildman again. Whoever that pink death is able to get to me, no matter where I am. I just know I woke up in the alley outside the Strickfield Centennial Theater. Then I present my oversized t-shirt. I was dressed like this. I wanted to call you, but when we leave the bathroom, Wildman takes my wrist. When I face him, he digs into his trench coat and hands me my purse that I left in his room. Thanks, I say, taking the purse. I already see my phone inside. I take it out and see the notifications of missed calls and texts from Wildman. We're both silent for a long moment. Then he puts a hand on my shoulder. You're absolutely sure about Dean? I point past him to the bathroom. I wasn't in there puking because I had a hangover. I snap. You can't make this shit up, Wildman. He puts a gentle hand on my shoulder. Okay, I believe you, material girl. He groans. Christ, what do I tell the brothers? Just then, Wildman's phone rings. I have to take this. I motion for him to go ahead. He goes into the other bedroom and takes the call. Just then, someone knocks at the door. I open it to reveal Blake. You're still alive, she exclaims. Can I talk to you? I step aside and let her come in. After closing the door, I face her. Lita told me what happened last night, Blake tells me. She said you were... Then she realizes I'm not here alone. Is that Wildman? Seeing I'm only wearing an oversized t-shirt, she probably thinks we fucked. I nod. Yeah, I just told him what happened myself. I don't get it. How the hell is this pink death just getting into our rooms, taking us and bringing us where it is we ended up at? Then I remember being shot with the dart at the end of the game. What happened to you? Blake asks. I repeat what I told Wildman. At least I don't feel the need to puke this time. Wildman comes back out. Oh, hey, Blake, he says. Blake nods in greeting. Looks like we all got stories about last night. Lita? Wildman asks. Blake nods again, Then Wildman tells us where Dean's body was found. It made the front page of this morning's copy of the Strickfield Journal. I subscribed to it online. Here. He hands me his phone to show me the article by Miranda Mason Phillips. I've been reading the paper most every day and see she's been covering a lot of the murders and crazy events that make the news here in Strickfield. Hell, I'm even surprised this village still prints a daily paper. Then again, there's so much in Strickfield Village itself that's still vintage. You'd swear Strickfield jammed on the brakes before the 80s were over. I think maybe that's why I love being here so much. What the fuck do we do then? I snap, throwing my arms up. You just know the killer's going to do it again. Hell, even one or both of you could be taken without warning. Blake points loosely at me. You and Lita both said the killer did something out of Spin the Bottle. It was Spin the Bottle, I answer. The killer said we were forced to play because the rules were broken that night we played the game at Wildman's frat house. What rules did we break? Blake demands. The rules were specifically laid out. Whit said I broke the girls' rule because I refused to kiss her, I recall. I know I agreed to kiss every girl, but there was no way in hell I was kissing Whit, not after what she did to me. Well, we can't exactly ask Whit, can we? Wildman points out. Not unless we know how to conjure the dead. So, what do we do? Blake asks. How do we keep the killer from getting to us? The three of us try and talk things out. At one point, it suddenly hits me. I remember smelling faint perfume during the killer's game of Spin the Bottle. Blake always wears perfume. The perfume I smelled at the deadly Spin the Bottle game smells just like what Blake's wearing right now. Blake's been a great friend to me since I first met her. She was the one who gave me the tour of Strickfield University when I came to check it out before deciding to transfer here. Okay, I know she and Wildman used to be a couple, but she ended things with him. Jesus Christ, I really don't want to think Blake may be involved in this shit somehow. Blake had been checking her smartphone. After checking it one more time, she tells us she has to get going. I have a university tour to conduct in 10 minutes. She says goodbye and leaves. I groan and put my hands to my temples. You okay? Wildman asks. I shake my head. Then I lower my arms and face him. Why do I keep getting the feeling Blake's pissed at me for seeing you? He takes firm hold of my forearm and shakes his head a little. She's not, Samara. Hell, even I've asked her. She's assured me she's not. And Blake's never once made any indications she wants you back? I inquire. Where are you going with this? He questions. Grant, all I've ever wanted in life was a normal relationship where things would work out, and we could both be happy together. First, I was with Shelley Stratton back in my early high school years. She fucking cheated on me with another girl, and that ended badly. Then came Whit. I already told you how things ended with her. It was practically the same thing. I caught both Whit and Shelley in bed with other girls. Then I met you and you swept me off my feet. But I'm feeling things won't work out between us either. Grant groans and squeezes my forearm a little tighter. I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm not like that. I shake my head quickly and yank my arm back. Maybe you will and maybe you won't, but I'm sure you still have feelings for Blake. And then there's the killer who's come into the picture all because of that fucking game we played. Samara, calm down. You're losing it, Wildman says. I tighten my fists. You know what, Grant? You're right. Maybe I am losing my shit. I can't deal with another fucking heartbreak. I'm going to just pack up and get away from Strickfield. I'll go someplace where the killer can't find me. Saturday night. When I return to Strickfield University, I almost expect Wildman to be waiting at my dorm for me. Then again, maybe not. He couldn't contact me since I had my phone turned off. I step onto the grounds and make my way across campus to get to where my dormitory is. I eventually reach University Hall and know I took a wrong turn somewhere. I knew I should have waited at Wilder Hall, but I'm so fucked up with all this pink death bullshit and everything, all of the nastiness that happened between Whit and I and how it ended. I turn and head back towards Wilder Hall. I tried to run away, but my feelings for Wildman just won't stop hurting my stomach. I just want to be happy with somebody. Is that too much to ask? Okay, yes, I'm a Mirren. I know our family as a whole doesn't have the best reputation. Being labeled the top 1% of the top 1% doesn't exactly make our name glow brightly, unless you happen to be featured on the cover of magazines like Forbes or Inc. Don't even get me started on the Wall Street Journal. What I'm trying to say is not all of us Mirrens are about greed and power, and even more greed and power. Some of us actually just want to live our lives. I'd like to think I come from a great family. My parents have always been good people, even willing to help others out. My parents taught me the Mirren ways, but they also taught me how not to be consumed by them. Like I said, I just want to be happy with somebody for the rest of my life. When I reach Wilder Hall, I hear someone calling out to me. I stop to look and see where it's coming from. Then Blake comes into view. "You okay, Samara?" she asks, reaching me. "Wildman's been losing his shit. What happened between you two?" I sigh. "I lost my own shit and broke up with him." Her eyes go wide. "Are you serious?" "I wasn't thinking straight, Blake," I admit. "This whole pink death bullshit's really got me stressed out." Blake takes my hand. "Why don't you come back to my loft? Get what's on your mind off your chest, then we can get a hold of Wildman." At first, I'm reluctant to accept her invitation. Then I keep looking at Blake's face and see how soft her expression is. She seems like she just wants to help, but then I'm smelling her perfume again, which reminds me of the same one I smelled at the killer's demented spin the bottle game. Against my better judgment, I nod and tell her I'll come home with her. We walk across campus until we leave, and then take the sidewalk onto her road. We only have to walk a block and a half to get to her loft. I've only been in Blake's loft a few times since coming to Strickfield U. Even now, I can tell she's fixed this place up a little more. Blake's parents gave the loft to her as a high school graduation present. It was in need of repairs. Fortunately for Blake, she wanted to learn her dad's skills as a carpenter when she was younger. You could say she's a daddy's girl. Blake still has some stuff she wants to fix up, but she's done a hell of a job from what I'm seeing. As for Blake's carpentry skills, she's applying those to her art major. Blake's got a sculpture she's working on in the middle of her workspace upstairs, which anyone can easily see coming into the loft. Blake steps out of her shoes and walks barefoot. I slip mine off too as she pulls her smartphone out of her back pocket. "If you want, I can get Wildman over here." I raise my hands in front of me. "No." I shake my head quickly. "I mean, I will talk to him. I just don't feel like I'm in the right mindset right now." Blake looks me over. "Yeah, you definitely need something to calm your nerves. I've got champagne. I've also got some pot." When I close my eyes, I feel her gently slap my shoulder. "I'll get you some champagne." I open my eyes again. Blake's getting a wine glass and then opening the refrigerator. She has a cold bottle of champagne in her hand. "Aren't you drinking?" I ask. She puts the bottle and the one glass down. "I suppose I'll drink with you, Samara." Then she goes and gets another glass. She peels away the foil from the top of the bottle and pops the cork out. It immediately reminds me of New Year's Eve. She pours each of us a glass and motions for us to go into her living room. We sit on the couch facing each other. Blake raises her glass. To, let's see. How about friendship? We clink our glasses together, then drink. Wow, she definitely gets the good stuff. Blake and I are talking about things. Actually, I'm doing most of the talking. As many times as I've confided in Blake, I might as well call her my shrink. Only difference is she never sends me a bill or asks for my insurance card. I'm not sure how many glasses of champagne we've had. I know we've drained more than one bottle. I think I'm drunk. But you know what? Fuck it. I think I'm entitled to get a little fucked up every once in a while. Hell, Blake and I even smoke a few bowls together. Like the champagne, she's got really good weed. Then I just point to Blake, right out of the blue, and ask her, "Do you ever miss being with Wildman?" You know, I was wondering if you'd ever get the lady balls to ask me that. She takes another hit off the pipe and hands it back to me. I fucking love Wildman, Samara. And I love you. You and Grant are my two bestest friends in the whole world. She points at me. There was a time when I really thought Wildman and me were going to get married. I mean, we both got drunk that one night at the cabin and ended up in bed together. Hell, we even had incredible morning sex. We couldn't go back and undo any of it, so we decided to see how we'd be as a couple. And I don't mind telling you, we screwed a lot. But you never dated, I remind her. Blake laughs a little. Mostly no. I mean, we'd go out to lunch or breakfast or something, but we never went out on a date. I never held it against him, though. I mean, to be fair, neither of us really thought about it. We were having too much incredible sex. Then I got stoned like now and got a little realization. Wildman and I had always been buddies. Now we were fucking. Then I broke down and started crying. I realized if I didn't end it, Wildman and me would someday no longer be friends. I didn't want us to just be fuck buddies or friends with benefits or something. Blake holds herself and starts crying a little. I can't not have Wildman in my life, Samara. You don't just be childhood friends with somebody and then, she sniffles. I'm sorry. She looks at me again. We're supposed to be talking about your problems, and here I am blithering away about Wildman and me. I didn't invite you here to talk about Wildman and me. Boy, the taboo shit that comes pouring out when you're drunk and or stoned. I put a hand on her shoulder. I'm not mad at either one of you. I get you two still want to be friends. I really do. I start laughing again. Now that Grant and me are no longer a couple. Blake grabs hold of my top and grabs me to her so that our noses are almost touching. Now listen to me, Samara Mirren. You and Grant are going to, you know, I think I could get to love having these girl talks like this. And then it just happens. Blake and I suddenly kiss. At first it's just a peck. Then it becomes 2 pecks. Then 3. 1 more. Then we're all over each other. Neither one of us are making any attempt whatsoever to stop. In fact, our kissing gets more and more intense. Eventually, we're both losing our inhibitions and go to work on each other. Blake frees my large breasts and starts feeling me up. I quickly rip open her blouse and feel hers. Then I undo her pants and ease them off. No panties. Blake pushes me on my back and removes my lower garments. We're both nearly naked as we start playing naughty adult games. I don't know how long Blake and I would have sex, but I know neither of us are pulling away. I don't know if it's the alcohol or the pot or the sexual tension between us, but I know we have hours of sex until we're both feeling tired. The two of us are still on her couch when we cuddle up together and finally fall asleep, not even thinking about the possible repercussions. When I wake up, I scream. I'm in that same fucking room like the first time. I'm secured to a chair at the wrists and ankles with zip ties. Like before, I have an oversized t-shirt on to cover my nudity. There are 3 other people here with me. Like before, Lita Sharp from the Alpha Delta Kappa sorority is here. The 2 guys are different. Both are from the frat house that Wildman belongs to. Cameron Jeets and Nathan Arnold. We're all at the same round table. Suddenly, the pink death appears and is illuminated brightly by the lights. The killer moves around all of us, making it a point to look right into our faces. Unfortunately, I still can't see into that shroud. When the killer finishes making the rounds, we hear the voice all around us. I'm so glad you could all join me for another round of Spin the Bottle. I do so love playing party games of an adult nature. The pink death raises a finger. But what I don't love is when people just can't be bothered to either follow or enforce the rules. Where would our society be if we didn't have rules? The killer moves and stands beside me. And what happens when you break rules in everyday society? Why, you get punished, of course. The killer lowers his head to mine. Even this close, I still can't see inside the shroud. I can't determine who the killer is. Isn't that right, Samara? The pink death stands up straight and produces the bottle. Once it's on the table, the killer spins it. Around and around it goes. It spins really fast, then it starts slowing down. Slower and slower. The bottle finally stops. On Nathan Arnold. Nathan shakes his head quickly while looking at the pink death. No! He tries to fight to break loose. No, please, no! The pink death comes around to him. But you were the winner this round. And now, your prize. Then a soft chuckle. The pink death produces what looks like a captive bolt gun, like the kind of tool used in slaughterhouses. I only know of it from seeing the most recent adaptation of Stephen King's It. Just seeing it work in the movie turned my stomach. I'll take it you understand what this particular weapon is intended for, Nathan, the voice says. It doesn't seem to be coming from the pink death, but all around the room. A normal one would stun an animal to ready it for the kill, but this one has been modified. Let's just say that the stun factor has been removed. Your fraternity really should have enforced the rules you set during the original game. It wouldn't have come to this. But now, the pink death puts the barrel to the side of Nathan's head. Fuck you! Nathan yells. Fuck you! Fuck! The rest of us scream when the pink death pulls the trigger to see the bolt easily going right through Nathan's head. It doesn't go all the way through. It's like it just stopped upon breaching the other side of the skull. After the killer relishes in his latest game, The right hand disappears into the sleeve. Another gun comes out in hand. Like before, I get shot with another dart. Then, the killer comes over to me. "See you again, Samara. Soon." And before I sink into unconsciousness, the killer's face comes into mine. I just feel a set of lips crushing against mine. I don't even know when the killer finishes kissing me, when I pass out. No, wait. I do feel two very sharp pains at my wrists. I wake up and find myself back in Blake's living room. I can feel I'm still mostly naked and on the couch. I can also feel wetness on my wrists. I open my eyes and try to sit up, but I'm so weak now, I don't know if it's the effects of that dart or if... Oh God, my stomach and groin are covered in my own blood. There's also a small pool of it on the floor in front of the couch. "Samara?" I hear a trembling voice calling. And then I see Blake coming towards me. She's still mostly naked from earlier and seems kind of wobbly. But what really terrifies me is that she has a bloody knife clutched in her hand. I try and stand up to run, but I'm too weak. That, and I slip on the puddle of blood and fall. I don't even feel the impact when I hit the floor. The last thing I see before I pass out is Blake lowering herself to me with the knife. I'm so fucked. Time unknown. I feel like I've awakened several times in just several seconds. First, I was sleeping with Blake at her place after we'd had hot, unbridled sex. Then, boom, I'm suddenly in that horrible room again, playing the Pink Death's horrifying version of Spin the Bottle. After that, I'm back in Blake's loft where I'm bleeding out both wrists and have my own blood all over my nearly naked body. And now, I wake up in a hospital bed and see an IV needle sticking out of my arm. I can see a little bruising on my other elbow. I also see both wrists are bandaged. Then I feel I'm not alone and turn my head to see Blake and Wildman. My eyes go wide when I see they're holding hands. I narrow my eyes on them. What is this? You two finally getting back together? Blake and Wildman suddenly act like I woke them out of a sound sleep. Blake points right at me. "No, Samara, you couldn't be any more wrong." She lets go of Wildman's hand, gets up, and approaches me. "After I woke up on the bathroom floor, I came downstairs and found you all bloodied and bleeding all over my living room floor." I point right at her. "And you had a fucking knife, Blake." I suddenly sit up to her face and yell, "Admit it! What are you, pissed off because Wildman and I are fucking? You wanted to get back with him and make him yours again?" I feel ready to grab Blake and lay into her with my fists. And then you fucked me last night. Were you having second thoughts about having sex with me in your loft? So you wanted to kill me and get back with Wildman? Come on, Blake, explain how I woke up in your loft, bleeding to death, and you having a knife in your hand. Before Blake can explain herself, a nurse comes into the room. Seeing I'm irritated at Blake and Wildman, she tells them they should leave immediately. When they both try talking to me again, I scream for them to get the fuck out. The nurse again tells them to leave, saying she'll call security if they refuse to comply again. Oh, they both look pissed, but they leave anyway. They both turn to look at me before they finally walk off. The nurse checks my vitals and tells me I'll be okay. I'm about to ask what's going on, but I'm still feeling really tired. Even pissed off, I just want to sleep. I just hope I don't wake up in that horrible room again. When I do wake up, I find I'm still at the hospital. Like before, I'm not alone. I feel excited when I see my big sister, Quinn Shriver, sitting next to my bed. Okay, Quinn is actually my stepsister. When my dad started courting her mom, they had us meet so we could get to know each other and hopefully get close. It worked. When Dad and Catherine got married, we became even closer. We were both little girls at the time. Fast forward to that point when our raging hormones would start influencing us. Quinn and I started becoming distant. It wasn't because I discovered I liked girls. I was having reckless sex and not caring. For a while, I was getting laid more than I'd ever imagined. Having sex for me was like playing a new video game console, with each girl being a new game. Finally, my parents got on me when they felt enough was enough. I cut back on how many random girls I was fucking and started dating. You'd have thought things would have gotten better, right? When Shelley Stratton came to be my first girlfriend, she definitely drove Quinn and me apart even further. Not only did Shelley get me back into my recklessness, she got me to do it with just her. Not only did we have sex constantly, we'd go out and get into all kinds of trouble. Shelley knew how to get alcohol, which was how she started getting drunk. No matter how many times Quinn tried to drive a wedge in between Shelley and me, I refused to listen. Even my own parents had a hell of a time with me. Then it happened. My family staged an intervention. Of course, I refused to listen. I felt deep down they hated that I was in a real relationship and was happy. Then they said they didn't care about me seeing other girls, just that Shelley was bad news, and why. Dad presented me with a copy of Shelley's police record. She had been in and out of trouble with the law since she was 10 years old, mostly for underage consumption and theft. Fortunately, I never got busted on either of those. Believe me, Shelley and I were pros at getting 5-finger discounts. Shoplifting. What's more, my parents said they were checking me into a rehabilitation facility to get clean. I was hooked on alcohol at a young age. Who knew? I certainly didn't. Still, I was determined to not be separated from Shelley. The next night, I escaped from rehab to go find her, and that was when I had found Shelley, nice and comfy in her bed, with another girl. And they weren't just having a sleepover with pizza and movies. That was when my first heartbreak began. Shelley didn't even apologize or lie about it. When she started saying hateful shit to me, I lost control and beat her within an inch of her life. The other girl never made a move to help Shelley. It was Quinn who found me and kept me from killing Shelley. I let Quinn return me to rehab. It sure didn't take long to learn I was indeed addicted to alcohol when I went through hellacious withdrawals. I made it through rehab and came out with not so much of a clearer head. You already know Whit Dalton was next. No, Whit never got me drunk or stoned, but she was a wickedly beautiful, uninhibited girl. Like I said, it was our first night after playing a high school basketball game together that we started having sex. Eventually, I brought Whit home to meet my family. Oh, she sure left a real impression on them, especially when she said she was a mortician who had no problem whatsoever handling dead bodies and preparing them for burial. I guess I never saw that Whit could be very possessive. I never once imagined that she was ordering me around. I remember the times she brought me to the mortuary where she worked near our high school. At times she taunted me at how I would eventually look like a corpse she was working on. A few times I got squeamish and ran into the bathroom to throw up. To Whit's credit, she was very good at making the dead ready for burial. You'd swear the bodies were just sleeping soundly. Whit's vast knowledge of the human body easily motivated her into becoming a med student. As for Quinn, Whit wouldn't let her near me unless we were at my house. My family, eventually, held another intervention. This time to tell me Whit wasn't good for me. Even Quinn begged me to end things with her. If only I'd listened, right? I already told you how I found Whit cheating with her ex and broke my hand when I laid her ass out. Now Quinn is here at the hospital with me. Really, Samara? Suicide? Quinn snaps. Are you serious right now? My eyes really open wide. Suicide? Me? She points to my bandaged wrists. Have you seen those? Looks like your latest girlfriend called 911 barely in time. Any later, I'd be coming to see you in a funeral home. Quinn throws her arms up. I guess we both learned that from our mom. Seriously, Samara, how long will you continue to be reckless? And how long will I have to keep pulling the big sister card on you? Now she's crying. I know we're not real sisters, but I love you so much. When I was younger, I always wanted a sister. When I got you, I knew you weren't from Mom, but I understood the situation. That's why I wanted to get to know you and be your older sister. If you would have died, Quinn grabs a tissue and wipes her tears. I didn't try to commit suicide, Quinn, I protest. I swear on Dad's good name, I didn't. Quinn gives me her big sister look, telling me she's going to play the big sister card again. Look me in the eyes and tell me you didn't try killing yourself. Without hesitation, I obey Quinn and tell her. Her face softens up. Then she sighs and takes my hand. Thank you, she whispers. How long have I been in this bed? I ask. 3 days, Quinn answers. Mom and Dad were both here to see you once they found out. They brought me with them and left me behind to stay with you. She raises her finger. And they also want me to bring you back home to Shore City, since it's clear you're having issues here. I just want to know how the fuck Whit Dalton learned I was in Strickfield, I tell her. I only told Mom, Dad, and you. Quinn looks bewildered now. I have no idea. Then she comes and looks me in the eyes. I swear I never told Whit anything. She steps back. Oh, she tried making me talk, but I told her to get fucked. She points at me. I mean it, Samara. Soon as you check out, we're going home. Mom and Dad's orders. Quinn, I'll be okay, I protest. She shakes her head quickly. No, you are coming home with me. You got a problem with that, talk to Mom and Dad. Okay, you didn't commit suicide. This time. She narrows her eyes on me. But you did attempt suicide after you learned Whit cheated on you. She's not wrong. I was soaking in my bathtub at home when I got the idea. I was hurting so much at having my heart broken. Twice. It was much worse than the first time. I went into Mom and Dad's bathroom and found a razor blade in their medicine cabinet and returned to my tub. After getting back in, I sliced both of my wrists without hesitation. Quinn was the one who found me and saved my life. If it wasn't for her, that's another time I'd have been dead too. I look at Quinn now. Okay, I'll openly admit to the first time, but again, I did not try and commit suicide, not this time. It never even crossed my mind. Quinn and I look at each other for a long time. Then she takes my hand. Okay, I believe you. And for the first time in a very long time, Quinn pulls me into her arms and hugs me. I hug her back, happy to see her again. Late Thursday morning. I'd been in that hospital a total of 5 days. It feels so nice to be free again. Quinn brings me to Strickfield Inn, where Mom and Dad got her a suite. For a village, this suite looks more like a little cabin. Overall, it's definitely bigger than my dorm at Strickfield University. The only notable difference, aside from the luxuries that come with this suite, is that my dorm has 2 bedrooms. One's empty since I don't have a roommate. This is home until tomorrow morning, Quinn tells me. Then we really are going home. I turn and face her. No. Quinn faces me now. There ain't no more no about this, Samara. Mom and Dad kept me here to bring you back home. And God damn it, I am bringing you home. She groans. Why do you have to be so goddamn difficult? She points right at me. I can't believe you let both Shelley and Whit come between us. Even now, you're still fighting me. Then why are you even here? I demand. Why don't you just tell me to go fuck off? Again, we look at each other for a long moment. Then we come together and hug again. Because I love you, little sister. She reminds me again. I'll never stop loving you. When we pull away, she raises her finger. And because I love Mom and Dad. I point at her. But I am not going back to Shore City. I'm sorry, Quinn. I don't care what you say on that. You'll have to beat the living shit out of me first. Wrestling was probably the closest thing Quinn and I ever got to having an actual fight. Quinn always showed me she was the alpha between the two of us. I'm expecting her to assert her alpha big sister dominance again. Instead, she shrugs. Okay, you're not coming home. I'll have to call and tell Mom and Dad. You know they won't be happy. She gives me an evil grin and pokes my shoulder with a long fingernail. But you ain't off the hook, Samara. In fact, I already talked to Mom and Dad about this. Let's not forget you were only allowed to leave the hospital under my custody. Otherwise, you would have had to stay there on suicide watch. Oh, what? Are Mom and Dad coming to get me themselves if I refuse to come home? I fire back. I love Strickfield, Quinn. I love it here. I don't want to go home. Which is the truth, but I also don't want to endanger my family with the Pink Death Killer still haunting me. Go on back to Shore City and tell Mom and Dad I'll be all right. Quinn points sharply at me. What part of you're not off the hook didn't you understand, bitch? She lowers her finger. I already told you I talked to Mom and Dad. You don't want to come home? Fine. Her evil smile again. That means I am staying here in Strickfield with you. I'm not sure whether to be happy or pissed. That's right, Quinn continues. Mom and Dad know how stubborn you are. She sighs. We both are. Anyway, Mom and Dad thought you might not want to come home since you told them how much you loved it here in Strickfield in your weekly phone calls to them. They said you can stay here, but I have to be here with you. I throw up my arms. So what? You're my fucking babysitter now? According to Strickfield General, yes, Quinn answers. In fact, Mom and Dad took care of everything on their end. I even got my transcript sent to Strickfield University. She comes and takes my hands in hers. Also, I've been assigned to your dorm since you didn't have a roommate living with you. Again, I don't know whether to be pissed or happy, but I find myself hugging Quinn. So you could say, I'm happy my big sister is here with me. Perhaps we can get close like we used to, before my raging hormones interfered. When we come apart, Quinn reminds me this suite is ours for the night. In the morning, we leave for Strickfield University. My things are already moved into our dorm. I actually got my room set up a few days ago, Friday morning. After checking out of Strickfield Inn, Quinn and I walk to campus. For the first time ever, we enter our dorm room together. Sure enough, her things are there. I can even see she's got the other bedroom all set up. We're not even in our dorm room 5 minutes when we hear loud pounding on the door. Quinn turns and opens up, revealing Blake and Wildman. I almost want to laugh at the looks on their faces when they see Quinn standing there. Does Samara Mirren still live here? Blake asks. Did she move out? I hear Wildman tell her. This is Quinn, Samara's sister. Is Samara here? Quinn steps aside and lets them come in. Then they see me. Again, I want to laugh when they look at both of us repeatedly. Blake points to me. We need to talk. You, me, and Wildman. Now they look Quinn's way. Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of Quinn, I tell them. Oh, and she's my new dorm mate. She goes to school here now, too. Blake and Wildman look at each other. Then I remember them holding hands at the hospital. You know what? No, fuck this. It's clear you two are seeing each other again. And who am I to... Shut up, Blake snaps. You don't know shit. Wildman was really worried about you, so I was holding his hand to calm him down. He spent every visiting hour in your room waiting for you to come around and know if you were okay or not. I put my hands to my ears. Not listening. Get the fuck out. Then Quinn pulls my hands back down. Will you please stop acting like a baby sis? Just hear them out. If you don't want them here, well, then they're done. I'll throw them out myself. Quinn used to kick the shit out of a lot of bullies back when we went to school together. I'd easily wince when they'd look at me the wrong way, but Quinn was more of a tomboy than anything. She loved playing sports, especially football. Anyway, she had no problem going toe-to-toe with another guy if he pissed her off. I think that's one of the things I still admire about her today. Yeah, she's definitely my big sister. When Quinn sees I still don't want to hear Blake and Wildman out, she comes and gets in my face. You want to know the real difference between you and me, Samara? You always run from your problems instead of facing them head on. You really going to run away from these two again? I can't believe she's playing this card now. She points to Wildman. Remember when you brought Grant home a few times for dinner? Mom and Dad really liked him. Hell, he even grew on me. She looks his way. Even though we didn't really talk. So, as your big sister, I say you at least owe it to Wildman here to hear him out. Now I am mad. You can't make me stay. Suddenly she grabs me and takes me down to the floor. No? Shit. I forgot. She wanted to go out for high school football, but the team refused to let a girl play. When Quinn was allowed to go out for the wrestling team, lots of the guys laughed at her, at least until she showed them she could wrestle as good as they could, and earned their respect when they'd win meets and invitationals. She even won a few state championships. Okay, Uncle, I give up! I quickly cry out when I can't break her side headlock. Quinn lets go and helps me up. I growl at her. I hate you. No, you don't, she counters. So now I have to sit down with Blake and Wildman, with Quinn serving as a moderator. I start off by looking at Wildman, but I point at Blake. You heard her at the hospital. The two of us fucked that night. We got drunk and stoned, and we had sex. We even fell asleep together. I know, Wildman says. Blake told me everything after the ambulance took you away. She called me after she called 911. When I saw how you were both dressed, I knew. Blake still told me anyway. Now you know why we can't be together again, I tell him. Suddenly, he reaches out and takes my hand. To be fair, you broke up with me. Technically, you didn't cheat on me. But Blake is best friends with both of us, I remind him. And we slept together behind your back. I would have told Wildman regardless, Blake interjects. But I'm no good for you, Grant, I persist, ignoring Blake. Whit was right that day. I am gay, and that's how it's always going to be. I can't be with you, especially after I turned right around and bumped tacos with Blake just after I broke up with you. Wildman refuses to let go of my hand. I'm not letting you walk out of my life so easily. He looks at Quinn. No offense, but I wish you hadn't moved into the other room. I wish you hadn't moved here now. You don't know what's going on here. Believe me when I say, it's bad. Quinn looks ready to go off on Wildman, but this time I take his side. He's right, big sis. You don't know. Know what? Quinn demands. The three of us look at each other. When my eyes lock with Blake's, I yank my hand away from Wildman and want to tear her apart. Blake stands up and locks eyes with me. Quinn is up there with us to keep the peace. I did not try to kill you, Blake insists. I had to pee, so I got off the couch and went to the bathroom. After I finished washing my hands, I felt something sharp on my back. The next thing I knew, I woke up on the bathroom floor with that bloody knife in my hand. I only held on to it because I felt whoever shot me might have been in the loft. I raise my eyebrow. And how do you know somebody shot you, Blake? I felt the fucking dart in the back of my shoulder and pulled it out, she answers. I was still feeling wobbly, but I knew I had to see if you were okay. I was horrified when I saw you. When you fell and passed out, I fought the urge to go unconscious too and called 911. Then I called Wildman. He got here just in time to see the ambulance taking you away. That's when I came clean to him about what we did. Blake's crying now. I would never hurt you, Samara. You and Wildman are the only two real friends I have here. She wipes away her tears with the back of her hand. And now I've fucked everything up by sleeping with you. Then why did you? I yell. Blake sighs. When I get all nice and drunk, I tend to let loose. You were there. You could have easily pushed me away too. I would have backed off. I look at Wildman. She's right. I didn't back away or tell her to fuck off. I was just as drunk and stoned as she was. Like I said, I wanted to sleep with Blake. Wildman looks at both of us. Do you two want to be together? Blake raises her hand slightly. I love you, Samara. I really do. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't still craving you right now. But I don't want sex to come in between us the way it could have come in between Wildman and me. Quinn points to Blake. So you, she points to me and Wildman, had sex with both of them. Blake groans and rolls her eyes. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm lonely. She calms down, closes her eyes, and bows her head. Somehow I always end up fucking my friends. She raises her head and opens her eyes. I don't know why. Like I said, I get lonely. Wildman doesn't get mad at Blake. He looks at me now. Do you want to be with Blake? I want to hear you say it if you do. I look at Blake, then to Wildman. Then Quinn gently slaps my shoulder. Out with it. Be honest. Stop running away. I look at Quinn. And how do you know I'm not heading into another train wreck with either Wildman or Blake, like I did with Shelley and Whit? Because these two kept coming to visit you when you were in the hospital, Quinn answers. You know damn well neither of your past girlfriends showed their faces when they were in the hospital. Quinn's right. I look at Blake and Wildman. I've been close to both of them. I've been intimate with both of them. I'll be honest. I don't want to hurt either one of you. I quickly hold up my hands in front of me. Scratch that. I know I hurt both of you. And I'm sorry. It's very hard for me to say what I want to say, but it has to come out. I take a very deep breath and look at both of them. There's always going to be that part of me that wants to be with girls. Maybe if Wildman wasn't in the picture, I might have been open to the possibility of exploring us, Blake. Blake smiles a little. Believe me, I understand. Again, I'm sorry. I was there too, I tell her. I didn't stop you. Again, I wanted it too. We're both at fault here. Then I look at Wildman. I know I fucked up. I'm willing to give us another shot. But if you don't want anything to do with me ever, I don't get to finish. Wildman reaches out and snatches my hands. Suddenly, I'm flying right to him. He catches me and holds me to him as we kiss. I don't know how long we kiss, but it's wonderful. When we finally come apart, he tells me, I love you, material girl. I think it's safe to say Wildman and me are officially back together. I don't deserve him, but the fact that he's so understanding of both me and Blake. Speaking of Blake, I get off Wildman and go to her. Then the two of us make up. She doesn't even look the least bit mad that I chose Wildman. Yeah, I still want to explore the possibility of being in a real relationship with my first guy. After Blake and me hug to seal our apology, I turn and hug my big sister. A big one this time. Thank you. It's okay, Quinn mutters. When we come apart, she tells me, I think you and Grant should get out of here. Go do something together. Don't worry, I'll be here when you get back. Wildman and me don't need to be told twice. We leave our dorm to be together and do whatever it is we're going to do. And for a while, Wildman makes me forget about, well, once again, I find myself in that horrible room. I'm beginning to think this is an attic. All I know is I can see the full moon outside the one window. I can't see exactly where we are since I'm too far from the window to be able to see the ground. Even if I could, I don't know Strickfield well enough to be able to determine where this place is located. Also, I don't have my phone to be able to use a GPS app. Like before, there are 4 of us, secured to chairs at our wrists and ankles with zip ties. Like before, I'm wearing an oversized t-shirt. The pink death always seems to get me when I'm sleeping with someone. How the hell does this person always know where I am and when I'm having sex? When I see who the other 3 people are this time, my heart sinks fast. Amber Casey is new this go-around. She was one of the girls I spun the bottle on and consensually kissed. Willie Towpath was the football player whose crotch wit was arousing that night while pretending to be his date. But the last one is Quinn. Quinn is still in and out of sleep and keeps trying to force herself awake. She's no lightweight. Quinn definitely has the build of a man for the most part. Suddenly the pink death appears all brightly lit, as if seemingly out of nowhere. Then we hear a voice coming from all around us. Ah, yes. Again, it's time for another game of Spin the Bottle. There's a chuckling. I do so love playing games. Life would be boring if we didn't have games to play, right? And right now, I want to play another round of our current game with all of you. The pink death comes to the table and puts the bottle down in the center. And it looks like we have a new player to the game. The killer turns to me. Why, Samara, I'm genuinely surprised your older sister came all the way from Shore City to see you. Not only that, she transferred to Strickfield University and moved into your dorm room with you. The killer leans in towards me. I'll bet you never told her what was going on in your life here, did you? Another chuckle. Well, better late than never, right? Let her go, you motherfucker! I yell. Quinn's got nothing to do with this. The killer points at me. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Quinn never should have come to Strickfield. She would have been spared our little game otherwise. But now that she's here with you, that means she gets an automatic invitation to play our game now. The killer raises a finger. But don't worry. Quinn has a 1 in 4 chance, the same as the rest of you. Now the killer moves the bottle. Enough talk. It's time to play another round of Spin the Bottle. The pink death takes hold of the bottle and gives it a good spin. Like before, it spins fast for a little bit. Then it starts to slow down. I'm very afraid this time, but not for me. I'll admit I've been afraid to die the previous times, but now I can feel how much I truly love my big sister. The bottle finally stops. On Quinn. We have a winner, the voice echoes. And now... No! Please! I call to the killer. Please don't kill her. Kill me. I'm the one you really want, right? After all, you've brought me here for every game. Just kill me. A loud, exasperated sigh. Now, Samara, you know the rules. Whoever the bottle lands on, that's the person who pays the price. You know I won't change the rules. Not the way you did that night. I fight to break loose. When it's clear I'm staying right where I am, I realize the chairs we're sitting in are also secured to the floor. I look at the killer. Please, I'm begging you. Don't kill my sister. I'm offering myself to you in trade. I'm willing to die for Quinn. You want me to admit I broke the girl's rule that night? Fine. I knowingly refused to kiss Wit because of all the hell she put me through. I can't hold on anymore and burst into tears. Please don't kill my sister. What do you want from me? Anything you want, I swear I'll do it. Just please, don't hurt Quinn. I'll do anything to save her. Anything! Please! Another chuckle. I'm sorry, Samara, but rules are rules. And within just 3 seconds, the Pink Death raises an axe, swings, and lops off Quinn's head mercilessly. Her skull hits the floor hard and rolls right next to me. I scream like I've never screamed in my entire life. You motherfucker! I roar. You goddamn son of a bitch! I'm in between rage and sobbing now when I see blood oozing from the stump of Quinn's neck. It's only then when I'm finally aware that the other 2 unwilling participants are still screaming. I'm just aware that Amber threw up all over herself. Willie is also in tears at what happened. I know he didn't know my sister, but for a tough fraternity guy, he's showing he's got some humanity. The Pink Death approaches me again. You motherfucker, I hiss. What the fuck do you even want with me? I would have died for Quinn. You didn't have to kill her. I scream one more time and fight and thrash like a wild animal in a snare. Anything to break free of my chair and kill this fucking piece of shit. But again, I'm secured too tightly. No matter how hard I try, I'm stuck here until the killer decides to free me. I look at the Pink Death now. Why don't you just fucking kill me and get it over with? You know that's what you want. So just fucking do it already. Why do you keep fucking around? Again, the killer raises a finger and waves it in front of me. No, you are not allowed to die. Yet. None of you are, until the bottle dictates it to be so. But you, my pretty, you are now the single most important piece of my game. In fact, I think I'm going to give you a pass when you're here. At least long enough for you to be in the final round. Just you and me. Saturday morning. Once again, it seems like only a second from the time I fall asleep from the tranquilizer to when I wake up somewhere else. I quickly sit upright in bed and see I don't have any covers on me or clothes. Also, my wrist bandages are gone. And I'm soaked in blood. I look at my wrists again and see my stitches are still holding. Then I gasp. The blood's not mine. I have a bad feeling and look on my bed to see. I scream when I see Quinn's head in bed next to me. I tighten my fists and yell, "You fucking sick motherfucker! You sick motherfucker!" I'm really shaking when I get out of bed. As the shock continues to numb my brain, I head into the small bathroom and get in the shower. Thankfully, Strickfield U doesn't have collective dorm showers. Imagine what other girls in this dormitory would say if I came in soaked in Quinn's blood. I'm sobbing and crying as I'm trying so hard to scrub Quinn's blood off me. I groan in pain as I scrub my stitches. It's a wonder I don't break them open and bleed out. Right now, I really want to open my stitches and end it. Then I reconsider. Maybe before I wanted to die. Now I'm too afraid to attempt suicide again. It took forever, but I finally got myself clean, and without reopening my wrists. As I'm drying off and getting dressed, I'm still shaking and crying, knowing Quinn's head is still in my bed. What the fuck am I going to do? I know the right thing would be to call the police and report it. But what in the actual fuck will I tell Mom and Dad? They're really going to lose their shit. They'll probably disown me once they learn how Quinn died. I can never go home again. When anxiety takes hold of me, I hold myself. I realize I'll likely be kicked out of the university. Not just for this, but I won't have the funds to continue next semester after my parents cut me off. I've got to get away. I really don't care where I go. Far away from Strickfield as I possibly can get. Someplace where this pink death killer can't find me. It's a whole world. The killer can't possibly find me everywhere, right? I have some money left in my bank account and my passport. I can get the fuck out of this country and go live somewhere else. One way or another, the pink death killer will never find me again. Suddenly, I know what Quinn would say right now. You're running away again, bitch. She echoes in my mind. I turn to look at Quinn's severed head. I'm sorry, big sister. I've never been as strong as you. And I never will be. I grab my purse and my keys. I don't even take my smartphone or pack a bag. I'll just wear the clothes on my back and get the fuck out of this living nightmare. I flee my dorm after closing and locking it behind me. I'll make an anonymous phone call to the police when I'm far enough away. I burst outside and reach my car. I'm about to get in when 2 hands suddenly grab my shoulders. Stop! A familiar voice yells. The hands turn me around to see Wildman. He's giving me that look again, like he's asking me, really? What is going on with you? He asks instead. You disappeared on me again last night. It was that fucking pink death killer again, I snap. How does he do it? Every time I fall asleep, I end up in that attic room where we play another round of Spin the Bottle from Hell, where somebody always dies. You keep talking about this pink death, Samara, Wildman emphasizes. I still haven't seen him. I'm pissed now. Go ask the others who were invited to play Spin the Bottle with the pink death. The ones who lived that are still in your fraternity can tell you they saw him too. They did, Wildman reluctantly admits. Then why the fuck don't you believe us? I demand. It just doesn't sound right, Samara, he says. All of you end up in some attic room somewhere together playing Spin the Bottle where the winner loses. I groan hard. You're never there, Grant, so you don't... What? Wildman wonders. I look at him suspiciously. Unless you are there. He gives me a weird look. What are you talking about, material girl? Now you're scaring me. I'm pissed off now. It just occurred to me that every fucking time I'm taken by the pink death, I always seem to be around you. First time was at your parents' cabin when you brought me there for us to be alone. Then we went to bed together in my dorm, and I ended up playing another round of Spin the Bottle. Finally, I go out with you after we got back together in front of Quinn, my sister. One more time, I was in that room. Not only that, I grab his dark shirt. Quinn got fucking killed this time. Quinn? Wildman shrieks. She's dead? I let go of him and point accusingly. You should know. You were there every time when I'd get taken away. I shove him. What's your problem with me, huh? Did you catch me fucking one of your sisters or something? For the record, Grant has an older and younger sister. All 3 siblings are at least a year apart. Wildman grabs my shoulders. Stop it! Then he lets go of me. I don't need this shit! He turns and storms off. Then he suddenly stops. He turns and comes back to me. Again, he grabs my shoulders. "No, I never caught you having sex with either of my sisters," he says right to my face. "In fact, I know you didn't have sex with either of them. Every time I took you home to my parents, they weren't there. Nicole is in college over at Oberlin, and Jennifer's an exchange student in France." I raise my finger. "But you were there every time I'd fall asleep, only to wake up in that attic and play that demented game." "Okay, material girl," he returns. "Exactly what motive would I have for wanting to kill you? Because you had sex with Blake? You hadn't done that until recently, and you already told me this Pink Death killer was taking you before you and Blake hooked up. So I'd say Blake's out. And again, we were technically broken up, so that means you didn't cheat on me. Also, Blake told me everything. Our friendship means too much for us to keep secrets from each other. So tell me, what could my motive possibly be?" I'm racking my brain for any kind of a motive. When I think of Quinn, I know Wildman couldn't have had any motive against her. Quinn liked him. It was one thing if Mom and Dad liked him, but Quinn was definitely the final gate. If she didn't like you, the family knew you were bad news. But Quinn liked Wildman. Remember, she went to bat for him when I tried to run away from him and Blake in our dorm room yesterday. Wildman clearly sees I can't determine a motive. He's still holding my shoulders. "Maybe I'm doing it to torture you for being a Mirren. But that wouldn't be true. You and your family are the only Mirrens I've ever met. Believe me, none of your family ever made life hell for mine. You saw how well off my family is." "But I keep getting taken away when I'm with you, Grant," I emphasize. "Why?" Wildman shakes his head in confusion. "You got me, but I could never kill you, material girl. One, I ain't no killer. And two, I love you." Now I feel really bad. Then he comes into me and kisses me. I give in and kiss him back. We do so for several minutes. I barely hear someone muttering for us to get a room. We finally stop kissing and face each other. "Look, material girl, I can't prove I'm not the killer," he admits. "I'm not calling you a nut job since I know others have been murdered. It's just, I haven't seen this Pink Death character you all say you saw." I tighten my jaw. "You calling us liars?" "No," he replies fast. "I believe you. If you all say you saw a Pink Death, then you saw a Pink Death. But how do we catch him? How about we stick together? This way, maybe I can help you find the killer." "But that's just it, Wildman," I counter. "It only happens whenever I'm with you." "Not true," Wildman counters back. "You were also taken when you spent the night with Blake." "Which means you still could have struck," I offer, not letting Wildman off the hook just yet. He gruffs a sigh. "Okay. I suppose in some crazy erotic thriller I'd be a suspect in that scenario. I mean, I know you both. I've been with you both. We just went through a breakup, though brief. Still a breakup just the same. Then you and our best friend get drunk together and have sex. Maybe I could have been right outside. Maybe I followed you, saw what you and Blake did and got pissed. I broke in, shot you both up with darts and..." "What you said after that. Is that what you're thinking?" I nod. "Material girl, I honestly am not angry in the least that you and Blake spent the night together," he admits. "Now, if you had hooked up with any other girl or another guy, then I'd probably be pissed, but it was Blake, so better her than somebody else." He sighs. "I guess what I'm saying is I'll do whatever I have to prove to you I'm not a killer. I love you, so tell me, What do I have to do? I finally do shake him off. I know what I have to do. I leave Wildman and go back to my dorm, where I get my phone and call the police to report Quinn's death. Saturday afternoon. Wildman brings me back to his room at the Zeta Beta Tau house. He wanted to take me back to his parents' cabin, but I preferred the fraternity house since there would be people around. If the Pink Death comes for me again, how will he snatch me up in a house full of frat brothers? I was counting on safety in numbers, at least for now. Wildman closes his door and locks it. Then he grabs a baseball bat one of the brothers left in his room and checks his closet. There's obviously no one in there. He keeps his closet, his whole room, neat and clean, unlike a few of the other rooms we passed on our way to his. Then Wildman drops to his knees and looks under the bed. "We're good, Samara," he tells me, "unless this Pink Death floats through walls." I quickly turn and pull down the shade. Wildman comes up behind me. Unless the Pink Death uses lumberjack tree climbing spikes or can scale walls like that mutant giant spider chick the Strickfield Journal reports on, I don't think he's coming in this way. I turn around to face him. We're practically nose to nose. You just never know, Grant. I'm trembling again. Wildman steps back. I move right to him now. "Don't you want to talk?" he asks, seeing I'm desperate. "Also, your sister just died." "We will," I promise. Then I come into him and kiss him. "I really need you right now. Please help me calm down." I grab Wildman to me and kiss him. Soon we're undressing each other and having sex. I still have trust issues, but I can't talk feeling this frustrated, especially when the police told me I'd likely have to stay somewhere else for a short time until they were done investigating my dorm. And don't even get me started on all the seemingly endless questions they bombarded me with. Wildman was there with me and told me I could stay with him. Clearly, he's not regretting that decision right now. After a few hours, we're spooning together on the floor. "Feeling better?" Wildman asks. I turn so we can kiss. I can't believe how much different sex with you is compared to all the other girls I've been with. I've definitely been missing out. "Well, I am your first," he reminds me. "And I don't regret technically losing my virginity to you," I sigh. I suppose I'm okay to talk about things now. "Any ideas on who the killer is?" Wildman asks. "Okay, we know you suspect me, and why. I promise you I did not kill Quinn. It's just you were always with me, meaning you might have tranked me all those times. Or you were watching Blake and me the night we slept together and came for us when we were sleeping on her couch. Your words," I groan. "I just can't pin a decisive motive to you, unless you escaped from that nut house in Erie City." Wildman laughs. "No, the only thing I admit to being crazy about is you." "Then Blake would be the only other suspect," I conclude. "Unlike you, she does have a motive. She did say she loved me, Wildman. She didn't say how she loved me. Was it as a friend? Is she wanting to be with me the way you are? And remember, you two used to be together. I know she said you two were just having sex constantly. I know Blake said she broke up with you to not lose you as a friend. But what if she's having second thoughts and wants you back in her life that way?" Wildman considers me. "Okay, I see where you're going, but I'm telling you it's not Blake. I've known Blake Karen since we first met in preschool. We've been in every grade here in Strickfield together, every school. And I'm being honest here, Samara. If Blake and I hadn't broken up, I'd probably still be with her." "I know you love her," I say. I think I would have eventually married her, he admits further. I would never have left Blake out in the cold if we would have had a bad breakup. Until you came along, Blake and me were all we had here in Strickfield. Until I went to Ohio State last year, it was her and me against this shithole planet. I guess you're right. I still love Blake, and I always will. I turn onto my back. And me? He takes firm hold of a breast and pecks my lips. Blake is my soulmate, but you... He kisses me again. Then I let him get on top of me, and we make love for a second time. I understand what he means about Blake and him being soulmates. They're timeless friends, and they never want to lose each other. Even I couldn't come between them. I just had a thought. Let's say Wildman and me make it through this pink death shit. Let's suppose we continue to be close, and we get married. We'd have to let Blake live with us. Wildman is the only world she really knows. Then she met me and liked me enough to allow me into her world. She let me be with Wildman since she was no longer tied to him romantically. I guess I'm saying the three of us are kind of a triad. We're not in a throuple relationship, but it'll always be the three of us as long as Wildman and I stay together. Would either of us have to sleep with Blake? I really don't know. I just know I can never come in between Blake and Wildman. But is Blake really looking to force her way in between him and me? Especially since he left her here all alone last year. When we're finished making love, we finally get in bed. I lay with him as it's getting dark. Wildman propped his wooden desk chair under the doorknob earlier. "You okay, Material Girl?" he asks. I look from the door and back to him. I just know that motherfucker will get me again. "How?" Wildman asks. "Is he going to force his way through my door? Is he going to scale the wall to come up to my window? Is he going to break into my room by making his own secret passage somewhere? Far as I know, there ain't no trap doors in the floor. Is he going to come up through the floorboards? Is he going to drop through the ceiling? Maybe rise up out of my bed?" I sigh. I just want you to be right, Wildman, about you not being the Pink Death. Christ, if you are the Pink Death, and I'm still fucking you and sleeping with you anyway, I'm definitely a head case, huh? And if it's not you, then I want you to be right about us being safe in here. Wildman and I hold each other. Before long, I'm feeling too comfortable. My naked flesh against his. Soon, I'm fast asleep. Only to again find myself in the same nightmarish attic room. One more time, I'm secured to a wooden chair that's attached to the floor. My wrists and ankles are bound tight with zip ties. Again, I have another oversized t-shirt covering my nudity. "Oh, Christ, no!" I yell. Then I see who the other three people around the table are. Two of them have returned for one more round. Lita Sharp from the Alpha Delta Kappa sorority, and Willie Towpath from Wildman's frat. My eyes open real wide when I see Wildman himself will be playing Spin the Bottle from Hell for the first time. He looks really groggy. He's also got an oversized t-shirt on. The Pink Death got into Wildman's room and took both of us this time, instead of just me. "Material Girl?" he mutters drowsily. "What's going on here?" "Oh, Wildman," I groan. "I wanted you to believe in the Pink Death, but not like this." Suddenly, the Pink Death rushes right into the room, illuminated by the lights, making everybody scream. Wildman's look tells me he finally believes me. Likewise, I no longer suspect him of being this monster. Not when I'm seeing both of them in the same room. I'm so glad you all decided to return for the final round of Spin the Bottle. We hear from all around the room. The killer comes and places the bottle in the middle of the table. One more spin, one more of you to pay the price for breaking the rules that night. The Pink Death comes over to me. As before, I smell the same faint scent of perfume. All this is because of you, Samara, because you refused to follow the rules. Furthermore, the girl's rule wasn't enforced. Okay, even the killer seems to be in favor of Wit for some fucked up reason. I can obviously rule out Wit since I saw her dead body hanging in my dorm room. Christ, I don't think I'll ever unsee that. Wit looked just horrible. Also, I saw the killer take her body away. By process of elimination, that only leaves Blake. There were times I landed on her before. I knowingly kissed her because I knew she wanted me to, even when she spun and landed on me. Blake was so needy that night when we slept together. Hell, so was I. I mean, our passion was very raw, and the way she caressed me in places was... It has to be you, Blake, I tell the Pink Death. It can only be you. The Pink Death raises a finger to me and waves it. No, Samara. We're playing Spin the Bottle, not 20 questions. You don't get to ask questions. You don't get to hold up the game. But you are here in the final round, as promised. Upon completion of this round and the game, I shall come for the rest of you, wherever you are. The Pink Death puts a hand on the bottle, and the other hand points at me. Until only you are left, Samara. From there you will have no friends. You shall be all alone after this night. No one will want you around, because they know you will only bring death to them. But I shall claim them anyway. And when only you remain, you shall belong only to me. I scream at the ceiling and fight to get free again. All I hear is that evil, echoey chuckling. Then I look at the killer. Just pull back the shroud, Blake. I know it's you. It can't be anybody else. It's just not possible at this point. Soon, my dearest Samara. So soon. The Pink Death spins the bottle. As before, it gets a few good rotations. Then it starts to slow down. More and more. Little by little. Until it finally comes to a stop. On Wildman. I lose my shit again and roar as I try and break free. I even scream like a deranged lunatic. But still, I'm stuck right where I am, and will continue to be so, until the Pink Death decides to free me. I glare right at the bastard. For fuck's sake, just kill me! I'm here! I can't run away! You saw to that! You didn't have to kill Quinn. I was right here. You could have had me all to yourself whenever you wanted. You didn't have to kill anyone. I'm crying my eyes out now. Please, what will it take for you not to kill Wildman? Name it. I'll be your property forever and ever. You want me to fuck you? I'll do it. I sob now. Just no more killing. I told you before, and I'll have to remind you one more time, Samara. Rules are rules. Something you seem to have a hard time understanding. The Pink Death moves up behind Wildman and picks up a can of gasoline. I keep begging and pleading as the killer empties the entire gasoline can all over Wildman. When the killer finishes, he throws it over his shoulder. Then he comes around to me. Your boyfriend has been carrying a torch for you for quite some time now, the voice echoes. Well, suppose we see what happens when he becomes the torch, shall we? I'll give you anything you want, I sob. Please, don't kill him. What do you want from me? You must see this, Samara. You must understand that you are off limits. The killer looks at Wildman. And you shall learn what it means to take that which doesn't belong to you. You violated Samara. So now, we are all in attendance for your very own funeral. Except you shall be laid to rest. By cremation. Everybody else screams as the killer produces a simple stick match. With one deliberate yet quick stroke of his thumb to the tip, the match is lit. Wildman knows he's going to die. He looks right at me and tells me his last words. I love you, material girl. And before I can say anything back to him, the Pink Death throws the match at Wildman. I scream the loudest I've ever screamed, likely beating the last time I said this, as the match lights Wildman up like a roaring furnace. I couldn't even hear any of the others screaming, especially Wildman. In fact, I'm still screaming, which will be the longest I've ever screamed. I'll be lucky if I don't get a raw throat and blow out my vocal cords. By the time I run out of what must have been a very long breath in my screaming, Wildman doesn't move. Ever again. In fact, I can't even recognize this man who swept me off my feet by looking like Eric Draven from The Crow. The flames are still smothering his entire body, but I can see how charred he quickly became. You fucking crazy bitch, Blake! I managed to get out. No, my vocal cords aren't shot just yet. You're seriously fucked up. You're beyond any kind of mental help. I hope you rot in hell! The Pink Death makes no move whatsoever to put Wildman's body out. Oh, Blake's making sure the fire doesn't get out of control by extinguishing what gets away from Wildman. Far from that, she just lets him burn until the fire goes out on its own. My emotions become too much to bear, especially when I see Lita and Willie crying. The fact they still have humanity hits me hard and makes me cry again. Also, my newest heartbreak is the absolute worst yet. Why do I always get my heart broken? The first 2 times were from cheating girlfriends, but this Wildman was taken from me by this sick bitch. It has to be Blake underneath that shroud. I haven't seen her since Wildman and me left our dorm room after our talk that Quinn moderated. Blake easily had the opportunity to grab Quinn. Also, since Blake has never really been close to any of the others involved in these sick games, aside from Wildman and I, she could have easily grabbed the others since they wouldn't have given her a second thought. It has to be Blake. I keep waiting for that bitch to pull out the dart gun and shoot all of us and put us back. No, this sick bitch is going to make us watch Wildman's body burn until the fire completely goes out. Also, I become rational enough to see that the attic window is wide open. I also see the smoke is going upward and see a vent sucking it out. No wonder nobody's choking or gagging in here. As the flames are dwindling, the Pink Death looks my way. Then the voice echoes around us again. It's then when I finally see one of the speakers being used to convey the voice. I did say this was the final round, didn't I? I guess this means it's time to finish with a grand finale. And without warning, the Pink Death reveals what looks like a shotgun. Before Lita can even scream, the killer takes quick aim and fires to blow the top of her head clean off. Lita no longer has hair or eyes as the top of her skull lands by the open window. I can see the remainder of her brains inside what's left of her head. The Pink Death cocks the gun and then shoots Willie in the head as well. Unlike Lita, his head just flies apart in different directions. Since he was sitting to my right, some of his blood, skull, and brain matter end up on me. I'm too emotionally distraught to be disgusted at this, even at the sight of blood oozing out of Brett's stump of a neck where his head used to rest on. I look at the Pink Death. Go ahead, Blake, you insane bitch. Just kill me. I don't care anymore. You've taken everything from me. Everything! Blake puts the gun on the table. Not everything. Then she produces the tranq gun again. Our game is not finished yet, Samara. We had our final round of spin the bottle, but you and I, we still have one final round to play ourselves. Just you and me. One last time, I shall put you back. Until such time, when I'm ready for us to play one last time. The dart hits my shoulder. I'm so exhausted physically and emotionally, I pass out fast. Late Sunday afternoon. When I wake up, I'm too pissed off to let what's left of the tranq keep me in and out of sleep. I sit up and see I'm inside Wildman's parents' cabin. Could Blake have been any more insensitive in putting me here, knowing I'll never be able to wake up next to him ever again? Christ, this hurts so bad. I never told Wildman I loved him when he said he loved me. But now I know I feel something for him. I'll never be able to forget his final words to me. I love you, material girl. He never made fun of me because I was totally into the 80s and dressed like Madonna from that era. He truly loved me for me, not for my name or status. I head into the bathroom and get in the shower. I sob as I try to scrub myself clean of the smoke and Willie Towpath's remains. It might as well be Wildman's remains too, since the smoke came off his body. After I finish my longest shower ever, I dry off and leave the bathroom. When I finish, I see my smartphone is next to the bed. I'm surprised Blake actually left both clothes and my phone. I snatch it up and immediately call Blake. Straight to her voicemail. Surprise, surprise. I call Blake's number a few more times with the same results, but I've got a few ideas on where she might be. I could go to her loft where we had sex that night, but my gut feeling tells me she won't be there. She won't make it that obvious, which leaves only one other place. I leave Wildman's parents' cabin for the final time and use my phone's GPS to guide me to the other side of the village. I have one other memory where Blake and I were on our own. We didn't fool around, but we did spend the night together, like we were having a sleepover. I finally reached my destination and am standing outside Blake's parents' summer house. She told me once that her parents come here to spend their summers before heading back to Erie City for the off-season. My hunch pays off when I see light in the basement. I go to the back door and it's unlocked. Blake is expecting me. I go inside and into the kitchen. I look through the drawers for a knife. Shit, they're all empty. In fact, there's nothing here to use as a weapon. Very smart, Blake. I have no choice. I go to the basement door and head downstairs. I let my flustered emotions get the better of me, because there's no way in hell I'm prepared for what's next. When I reach the bottom of the stairway and turn, I scream when I see all the bodies hanging by their necks on nooses. Everybody from the Spin the Bottle from Hell games, except for 3, which are laying side by side. They have to be the headless corpses of Willie Towpath, Lita Sharp, and Quinn. Even the charred skeleton of Wildman is hanging by a noose. The bodies that still have flesh have their wrists slit as well. I also see fresh bodies, ones that weren't in any of the killer's games. I immediately recognize them as everybody else from our original Spin the Bottle game, that night in the frat house. Even Whit Dalton's disgusting body is among them. She looks like she's decomposed even further. Makes sense since she was the first one to die weeks ago. She looks just hideous at this point. Blake truly got everybody. The 2 of us are the only ones left now. "I'm here, Blake, you bitch!" I yell. "Come out here and face me, you fucking coward, without the fucking costume!" Then I hear a noise and turn to see Blake herself was going to grab me from behind. "I'll fucking kill you!" I roar at her. Before Blake can say anything, I lash out and lay into her. I don't give a shit if I fuck up my hand again or not. Blake cries out when I blacken her eye and knock her to the floor. Fortunately, I don't re-break my hand. I quickly get on her and start throwing punches. Blake suddenly grabs me and the 2 of us tumble over each other. We're both throwing punch after punch and screaming like wild banshees. But I truly underestimate Blake. She shows me. She knows how to fight. She must have had some kind of training because she's easily blocking my strongest blows and kicks. Then she does a few moves and eventually locks me to her from behind. "You put up a hell of a fight, Samara," Blake says in my ear. "You need to hear the truth, but I know you won't listen when you're carrying on like this." Blake shoves me away. When I turn around, she pops me right between the eyes fast. I drop like a ton of bricks and land on my side. Before I pass out, I hear Blake again. "When you wake up and are calm enough, I'll tell you the whole truth and nothing but." And then I pass out completely. Sunday night. I feel myself being shaken awake. I open my eyes and see Blake Karen looking down at me. "Do you still want to fight me, or are you ready for the truth?" Blake asks. I quickly get to my feet and stand ready to fight Blake again. "I already know the truth. You killed all these people." I turn and point to the charred skeleton. That was my boyfriend, Grant Wild. "Why kill Wildman? You 2 had so much history together, Blake. What, you didn't like that he left you here all alone last year, so you're making sure he stays with you forever?" "Shut up!" Blake yells, looking like she's losing her mind. To be honest, I'm probably losing it myself. "You don't know anything, Samara. Believe me, you're going to shit when you hear the truth." Blake turns to point to one of the bodies behind her, but I grab her and give her a nasty headbutt. "Ow!" I groan. Jesus, that psycho bitch has a hard head. I hold the spot where it's hurting. Suddenly, Blake grabs me and drives her knee into my stomach. Then she shoves me on my ass. "Stop fucking fighting me!" She tightens her fists. "Listen to me! Let me tell you the truth!" I struggle to get back up. Damn, Blake really knocked the wind out of me. There's nothing you could say to me, Blake, I groan. I won't listen to your lies and bullshit ever again. I point past her. Those lives there are all on you. Don't you dare try lying your way out of this. Was it me you wanted or Wildman? I'm guessing it was me since you killed him. I really thought you were intelligent when we first met. I never imagined you were a whack job. I'm ready to go at Blake again, but something else gets my attention now. One of the badly decomposed bodies suddenly moves and slips a noose around Blake's neck. Blake gasps and gags when the corpse pulls hard on the noose, making her feet come off the floor. I'm back on my feet and move to save Blake, but I'm still not fully recovered from her knee. Now the corpse easily comes off its own noose. I'm staggering when the corpse grabs and slashes each of Blake's wrists with a kitchen knife. Now she's bleeding all over the floor, fast. Soon, Blake loses her fight with death and just hangs there, like all the other corpses. The decaying corpse looks at me now. What do you think, sugar tits? The decaying corpse comes into the light more. Wit? But how? The corpse peels off the morbidly decayed face to reveal the very living, not decaying face of Whit Dalton. I shake my head quickly. There's no fucking way! I point in a random direction. Back in my dorm, I saw you dead. I saw that fucking pink death with you on his shoulder. I point at her now. You can't be alive! You can't! Whit laughs now. You saw exactly what I wanted you to see. I love it when a plan comes together. Then I point at Blake's hanging corpse. She knew about you. That's what she wanted to tell me. Whit laughs again. Good guess. Blake saw me the way you're seeing me now. I ran down here where I had everything set up. I quickly reapplied my rotting face and blended in with the rest of my handiwork here. Blake never figured it out, much like you never figured it out. Then I pointed at her. But I saw your body on the Pink Death's shoulder. You were working with the killer the whole time. What? You got that motherfucker nearby, waiting to jump me? Whit really laughs now. Then she points right at me. The Pink Death was all me, sugar tits. All me. Now I'm really confused. Then how did you get on his shoulder? Whit quickly comes and lifts me right onto her shoulder. Just like this. And now she drops me into a padded deck chair and weighs me down as she handcuffs both of my wrists to it. Now you'll stay right here and not give me the kind of trouble you gave Blake. She gives me a sweet smile and stands to her feet. Again, her smile is quite beautiful and deadly. Whit sits down in another chair beside me. I'm going to tell you everything. She's still smiling. The body you thought was me on the Pink Death's shoulder was really a corpse I borrowed from the Strickfield General Hospital's morgue. I told you I got a job as a mortician there shortly after I arrived here. You do remember I'm a mortician, right? I have lots of bodies at my disposal. I just had to borrow one to present the illusion I was dead. Of course, you couldn't use your cell phone, since I had those modified signal jammers planted around your dorm. You had to leave to go out and find some bars. With you gone, I came down off the noose. Then I got naked and dressed the body I hid behind the couch in front of me. See, I counted on you not going behind the couch when you found me supposedly hanging there. After I dressed the corpse in my clothes, I put on the pink death costume and lifted, she makes air quotes, me on my own shoulders. When you came back in, you saw me in my costume with, air quotes again, my ass end facing you. Wit stands up fast, turns around and slaps her own ass. I even made sure the corpse I borrowed had the same perfect ass as mine. She giggles a little. I'll never forget catching you staring at my perfect tushy the day we first met. She sits back down. As for all those games of spin the bottle, getting all of you wasn't hard at all. It's not hard to get a tranquilizer gun and the perfect darts to render you all unconscious long enough for me to have all of you gathered in that attic. Nobody would have found the house since it was some abandoned dump in the country. Keeping an eye on you was so easy, which was how I knew where you were at all times. Getting into every house was easy too. I got a hold of some keys, had copies made, and put the originals back. That includes Wildman's cabin, where you two were going to fuck that night before you found my supposedly dead body in your dorm. As for moving all of you, after I'd shoot you with the darts, I loaded all the sleeping bodies into the back of the big pickup truck I drove to Strickfield in. I covered up the back and brought all of you out there. Then I brought you in the house and right up to the attic. From there, I could position you and secure you all. How did you get to Wildman and me at the frat house? I demand. There were people in the house, and Wildman barred the door to his room. Wit giggles. I just had to shoot a couple of tranq darts through the window. A few of them went down, and the rest bailed. Also, Wildman didn't have the chair so well jammed under the knob. I got in easy, tranked you both, and took you with me. Am I good or am I good? I roar and try breaking free, but Wit again proves when she secures someone, they stay put. Why, Wit? I demand. Why couldn't you have just taken me? Why did you have to kill everybody? Let's see. She raises her index finger. 1, because I could. Her middle finger. 2, it was unbelievably fun. A third finger. 3, because I want you all to myself. She laughs. You know, I never knew you had it in you to fuck Blake. I guess you two really had serious crushes on each other. I was pissed watching you two go at it. She sighs. You disappoint me. I'm not even fresh out of your life. Never out of your life. And you were going to replace me with Blake. Wit points right at me. And don't you dare tell me she was better in bed than me. You never had hot female flesh as sizzling as mine. And you know it. She suddenly raises her finger. But you want to know why I refused to spare anyone that you begged me to? Simple, really. There can be nobody between you and me. You're all mine. And now you're finally mine once more. Don't you remember what I told you that day? On what you thought was the last time you would ever see me alive? I said, no matter where you go, I would always follow. Even in death, you could never escape me, sugar tits. Wit utters a romantic moan. I love you forever and ever, Samara Mirren. She puts her hands on the pit of my tummy. I really fell hard for you. So much that it hurts like hell. Especially after I fucked up with you. I learned I truly didn't know what I had with you. Until you were gone. I had to get you back. No matter the cost. Wit shakes her head quickly. That means no Blake and no Wildman. Only me. That's why I killed everybody who was in that game of spin the bottle. Nobody can have you, Samara, and I absolutely mean nobody. She finishes in a crazy maniacal tone. You are mine and mine alone. I also said I would taste your lips again. My love for you hurts so deeply that I've killed for you. Now I'm the one laughing it up. This makes Wit smile. This is going to sound fucked up, but even after all of this, I still love her smile. It's beautiful. How many times had this crazy female turned me into melted butter with that damn smile? Talk to me, sugar tits, Wit purrs. What's so funny? You, I blurt through my laughter. When I calm down enough, I explain myself. You keep saying you love me. You said you killed for me. Then I calm down and glare at her. And yet, you fucking cheated on me. You do remember how I walked in on you with your old girlfriend, right? Wit's looking pretty down now and is trying not to let the pain show. I succumbed to a moment of weakness. I can never deny that. She points to me. Whenever you talked about Shelley, I knew you still had feelings for her. Also, I told you, Roxy and me, we had a history together. All she had to do was steal a kiss from me to make me remember. She sighs regretfully and cries a little. I know I definitely messed up when it came to you. I will admit that. I will also admit I deserved all those punches you gave me. You broke your hand all to shit on 2 of those. Last time you busted out several of my teeth. You hit hard when you were really pissed, but I wholeheartedly admit I deserved every bit of it. Believe me, I understand I broke your heart. You didn't break my heart, you bitch! I spit at her. You literally threw it against a wall as hard as you could to shatter it into a million tiny pieces. And then there were all those times you used to yell at me and demean me. You'd even hurt me when we had sex. Wit suddenly springs at me and drops her hands on the arms of my deck chair. Her eyes are locked on mine now. You loved it when I abused you. I learned it turned you on so much when I made you feel pain. When did you ever tell me to stop? Never. I learned you loved when I dominated you. Now, did you ever make Grant hurt you or Blake? Then she understands. Oh, wow. Was I the only one who truly knew what turned you on? Then there's that familiar scent again. What the fuck is that shit you're wearing? Oh, I helped myself to Blake's perfume, Wit confesses. I knew that would turn your suspicions towards her. Looks like I was right, huh? I groan and shake my head slowly. Go ahead and get your thrills. Just kill me already. That's what you want. That's why you did all this shit, right? You said so yourself. There was gonna be one final game between us, all because I refused to kiss you during that first spin the bottle game. Suddenly, Wit sits on my lap and plants one right on me. Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Please, no. I'm actually kissing her back. It's like we never broke up in the first place. Wit's right about us having a crazy relationship. I never understood why I felt such immense pleasure whenever Wit hurt me, physically or emotionally. I don't know why I'm such a masochist. No matter how much abuse she gave me, I always craved more. This was a part of our relationship I could never tell my therapists because I just simply didn't know what it was. Wit and I kiss with such passion. I can feel her burning love for me. I can feel how much she's hurting for what she did to me in her kiss. I know it sounds fucked up, doesn't it? Welcome to my world. Clearly not all of us Mirans are so happy-go-lucky with all the money and power we have to our name. We're still human and have weaknesses. In my case, I came to love being dominated by Wit. She learned what I desired, and gave it to me. Like many of the beautifully gift-wrapped boxes of chocolate she would also give me from time to time. When we stop kissing, I'm crying myself now. This crazy bitch just killed Wildman and Blake, two people I really came to admire. Maybe I didn't care for them like I thought. Or just not enough. Not when I'm clearly still hungry for Whit. I love you with all my heart and body, she whispers to my lips. Then she shows her burning love for me again by giving me another kiss. Whit slides her hand up my t-shirt and squeezes my raw breast hard. I moan from the pain she's giving me and how it's turning me on. I don't fight or resist her, as this kiss lasts so much longer this time. When we finally come apart, she pulls her hand out from my t-shirt. It's just you and me, sugar tits, she reminds me again. Forever and always. Will you please stop calling me that? I yell. She runs her tongue across my lips now. But your tits are just perfect, even if they are fake. And your nipples always taste so sweet to me. Then Whit gives me a romantic sigh before she gets off me so she can start undoing my pants. I quickly bring my legs up and use my feet to push her away. No, Whit! I yell as the bodies come into view again. No! When Whit looks to me for an explanation, I tell her, you killed everyone in here. There's no fucking way we can ever have sex again. I turn my head away from her. I was fucking stupid to give in to you. I glare at her. I guess I had a moment of weakness too. Whit caresses the side of my face as she gives me her beautiful smile again. I could just take you right now. You know you'd love every bit of it, and you'd beg me for more. And after tonight, I'm going to take you far away from Strickfield. It's just going to be us and the world we make together. She sits on my lap again. I told you, Samara, there are no hard feelings whatsoever with you belting me the way you did. Again, I humbly admit to you, I deserved it for cheating. What do I have to do to make you forgive me? Name it. I can't be without you. I will never be without you ever again. I shake my head slowly. There's no redemption for you. I suppose maybe one day I'll forgive you for how you cheated on me. But you killed everybody in here. I begged you and begged you to spare Wildman and Quinn. And you just didn't care. I told you I killed them for you, Whit reminds me, like I'm just not understanding her side of things. I killed them all because they came in between us and would continue to do so as long as they were alive. Whit gets off me and goes to one particular rotting corpse, one who looks worse than she herself did. Do you recognize her? After our breakup, I killed Roxy. I had to, since she came in between me and my girl. Whit digs into her pocket and produces the keys to the handcuffs. Killing Roxy should prove I love only you. And now, I'm gonna prove my love for you once and for all, by releasing you. Whit wastes no time unlocking both of my handcuffs. Then she takes my hands and helps me to my feet. Suddenly she wraps me in her arms and kisses me one more time. And one more time, I drink her in. Then I smell Blake's perfume on her and remember those demented games of spin the bottle. Even without perfume, Whit's natural scent was always intoxicating. And right now, I really want to have sex with her again. When we stop kissing, Wit seems to know what I'm thinking. That's the beauty of being in such a tight relationship with another person. You learn everything about each other and know how to please them. Wit holds me and looks deep in my teary eyes. I'm going to love you deep, she whispers to my lips. I will win you back. She starts to lift up my shirt, but then I roar as I suddenly come to life and lay into Wit with everything I can make my right fist give her. She cries out and falls hard to the floor. Looks like I gave her a nice bruise on the side of her face. Now I'm heaving with rage. You cheated on me! Then she looks up at me. I killed Roxy for you! I don't care! I growl as I reach down, yank her up, and give her as hard of a headbutt as I can give her. I don't care if I get a concussion. Wit shrieks and lands on her ass again. Ow! I utter and hold my forehead. I guess Wit got it good too, because she also groans while holding her forehead. I manage to shake all the stars away before she does and yank her back up. Then I haul off on her with my left fist. This time she doesn't go down. In fact, Wit's in this fight now. She clocks me with a right hand of her own. I said I'm sorry so many times for cheating on you. I killed people to win you back. Especially Roxy. Are you going to keep making me feel the pain of losing you? I howl and punch her hard again. You think you can just win me back by killing everybody? You know what really pissed me off, Wit? I point to Roxy's corpse. You slept with her in our bed. You would have kept right on fucking her behind my back if I hadn't caught you. Wit grabs me and knees me in the gut, dropping me to my knees. Again, I fucked up. Also, I drove 500 miles to find you. I will win you back, no matter what the cost. You are my life. Wit pulls me back up and pecks my lips. Anything, Samara. I killed for you. And I'll gladly do it again. No questions asked. I'll bleed for you. I'll even die for you. That's how much my love for you burns me inside. I groan and return the favor by driving a knee into her gut this time. Wit groans but doesn't drop. I raise my foot and kick her in the chest hard to make her stagger and finally fall back on her ass. Then I get on top of her, grab 2 handfuls of hair, and slam the back of her head into the concrete floor. All that pent-up heartbreak I've been feeling against Wit continues to seethe throughout my body. I can only see red now. You cheated on me, Wit, after you asked me to marry you. I'll never forgive you. As I throttle Wit's neck, she screams, grabs me, and turns me onto my back. I will win you back. You belong with me. Wit and I keep fighting. We let it get this bad. No matter the outcome, I'll never be able to shake her. She'll keep following me and finding me wherever I go. Just like she told me. The truth is, I'm a straight-A student, but Wit's intelligence is gifted, which was how she became a med student. When it comes to planning, she's always several steps ahead of me. I know I can't match brain power with her. What do I have to do to make you leave me alone forever? I hiss, throttling her neck again. Wit growls and looks up at me, locking eyes. You'll have to kill me. I'll never give up. I can never stop loving you, holding you, tasting you. I'll always be in your head. You are mine. My rage tells me to finish her. You cheated on me, Wit. I'm going to make sure you never cheat on anybody, ever again. It was at that moment that I realized I have to kill her. As I'm feeling I'm right at the breaking point of her neck, she pushes back with a desperate burst of strength to get me off her. Then she comes at me like a fierce cat. She pulls me to her and covers my mouth with hers again. One more time I give in to her and kiss her back. The pain in the pit of my stomach is in turmoil. I want my emotions to only make me feel hatred for Whit, but they're continuing to abandon me to her. God damn it. I still burn hot for her. When we come apart yet again, we can both see we've battered and bruised each other. We've even torn away at each other's clothes. I love you, Samara, she chokes out. She pulls me to her for another sizzling kiss. Again, I give in. Now I feel Whit unzipping my torn top from behind. Soon she has it off me and drops it to the floor. She's going for my pants now. She'll have me undressed completely. I want her so badly right now. Then I open my eyes and see it. The big, sharp knife Whit sliced Blake's wrists with is sitting on the edge of the furnace just behind her, within reach. As Whit's feeling up my body, I get a grip around the handle of the knife. When I know it's mine, I shove Whit to the floor and pounce on her. She cries out when I stab her. You'll never be able to make things right with me, Whit. You asked for my hand in marriage. When I accepted, you were already having an affair with Roxy. But you'll never cheat on anybody ever again. The only way I'm ever going to be free of the heartbreak of your fucking around is to kill you. I raise the knife for the kill. Never! Whit screams when I bring the knife down. She grabs hold of my wrist and again we're wrestling each other. Some of her blood is getting on my naked upper body now. Then she slips, allowing me to stab her again. She cries out and snatches my wrist again as she bleeds all over me some more. I manage to turn the cheating bitch back onto her back. I have to end Whit, right here and now. My love for her really is burning me like it's never burned me before, but the pain of her infidelity burns me far worse. If I don't kill her, I'll end up being with her again, possibly setting myself up for yet another heartbreak and a body count. Die with your whore, you bitch! I hiss, the knife raised for the killing stab. Hold it right there! A man's voice shouts from behind me. Drop the knife! Drop it! I quickly drop the bloody knife. Then I feel two men grabbing my arms and dragging me off Whit. It's Strickfield PD. What the fuck are they doing here? The next thing I know, I'm being handcuffed behind my back while being read my rights. Then my bloody upper body is being covered up as I'm hearing one of the officers calling for several ambulances. You see this? One of the officers asks another. You're going down for murder 1. The officer who read me my rights tells me. 10-1, you're getting the death penalty. I'm ready to protest and tell them Whit was the crazy one who did all these murders. But you know something? Maybe the death penalty is how I'll finally be free of Whit. Speak of the devil. She's still breathing. Just fucking die! I yell at her. But she won't, will she? As long as I'm still alive, then she's got something to live for, huh? Let's move it, an officer behind me nudges as we get to the stairs. Epilogue. So, here I am now, locked away in a jail cell at the Pendleton PD. Turns out every cell at the Strickfield PD was occupied when I was booked. A rarity from what I understand. So, arrangements were made and I was transported here, to Pendleton. First, I had to await my trial. Now I'm awaiting my transport to Glenview soon. I'm wearing a jumpsuit and sitting in my cell, looking around. I'm the only one locked here in the cell block. No wonder it's so quiet. When my trial came, months after my arrest, I pled guilty. Because of that, I was spared the death penalty and got a reduced sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. I never even had to take the stand. Also, Whit came to the trial and was there for the whole thing. As the police were taking me out of the courthouse to load me up for my trip back to Pendleton, Whit gave me her beautiful smile once again. She seemed to be completely healed up. Now I'm sitting in my cell, doing some thinking. I can't stop remembering Whit's fucking smile. She's got something on her mind. I'm afraid to ask what. I've had plenty of time to think about everything. I wondered how the police came and found Whit and me down in the basement at Blake's parents' summer house that night. I kept wondering if Whit called them and set me up somehow. No, I learned from one of the guards here that a nosy neighbor saw what was going down in the basement and called the police immediately. The cops came and caught me red-handed. There was no question of my guilt, at least when it came to Whit. Now I'm convicted of attempted murder on her and murder itself for everybody else, even Roxy. Again, I could never have proven my innocence when it came to all the dead bodies in the basement of Blake's parents' summer house. I really don't care at this point. I'm just tired of running from Whit. With me going to Glenview, there's no way Whit will ever get to me. Not unless she gets herself arrested and gets sentenced here too. Like I said, Whit's got a gifted intelligence. She's both crazy and brilliant. She's off the hook for everything. Soon I'll be in prison for the rest of my life. But I've got a reassuring thought. I'm thinking that cheating bitch will continue to hurt inside for what she did to me. In fact, I hope she's been crying herself to sleep every night. But I'm about to find out. I've greatly underestimated Whit yet again. A week later, I'm in the back of a car with the Feltner County Sheriff himself driving and a deputy riding shotgun. I'm being transported to North Ridgeway, where they'll officially release me to Glenview. From there, I'll officially be part of the prison system. Both my parents and Blake's came to visit me. Blake's parents called me everything but a child of God and told me I should have gotten the death penalty. They told me to burn in hell before leaving. As for my parents, they didn't know what to think of me. It was safe to say they were pretty distraught over Quinn's death. They didn't ask me if I killed Quinn or Blake. The way they spoke to me, they sure sounded convinced that I did. Before they left, they assured me they weren't coming to see me at Glenview. "You made your bed. Now you have to lie in it," were Mom's last words, before they washed their hands of me forever. We're halfway between Pendleton and North Ridgeway now. Soon we're slowing down. I look through the window and see a car broke down on the side of the road. I feel my tummy ache fast when I see an all too familiar, heart-shaped ass with its owner under the hood. "Just go!" I yell at them. The sheriff tells me to shut up. Then he and the deputy get out to see the supposed damsel in distress. 2 shotgun blasts later, and the dumbasses don't get to wish they had listened to me. Whit comes and opens my door, looking like some farmer's daughter from a cheesy porn movie. "Well, hello, sugar tits!" Whit cheers like a farmer's daughter. "Sure is fancy meeting y'all out here in the middle of nowhere like this." I step out of the car and face Whit. She gets serious now. "You are not rotting in prison for the rest of your life," she tells me in her normal, purring voice. "You took the fall for me. I really feel bad about that. About everything. You're right, I don't deserve you. Or your forgiveness." She's crying now. "I set you free and made things right. I'll leave you alone from now on, if that's what you really want." We look at each other for a long moment. Then I come into Whit and lock her in a deep, passionate, hungry kiss. There we are standing in the middle of State Route 1, reunited and not giving a shit about the rest of the world. When we come apart, I take both of Wit's hands in mine. She squeezes them back. There's nothing wrong with your car, is there? I ask. No, Wit replies. You ready to leave? Where are we going? I ask. She shrugs. Who cares? We're together and that's all that matters. Then Wit closes her eyes and cries again. I know I messed up. It's not knowing what you had until you lost it. She opens her eyes and faces me. I can't lose you ever again. I promise I'll do better by you this time. I swear on my life. I'll never cheat on you ever again. I sigh. Our really bad breakup really came to all this. Now I'm crying. I missed you, Wit. You really hurt me. I kept wondering what I did that was so wrong, that you would go behind my back and cheat on me with your ex. Wit pulls me into her arms. It was my fault, all me. You did nothing but be you. And I took you for granted. Please forgive me. I ease Wit back and look at her. We've got no choice but to be together now. We're fugitives as of right now. So, I love and forgive you, Wit. She and I have a long hug. When we finish, she nods to her car. Let's move, Sugar Tits. Wit and I get in her car and take off, leaving the bodies of 2 Feltner County law enforcement officials behind. To think that our breakup was so bad, that it came to all this. Talk about having serious relationship issues. I truly did forgive Wit for cheating on me. I really did miss her, and Wit had certainly proven herself to me. She's always been crazy, but she really went to the extreme to win my heart back. Killing Roxy, and today. I could tell you what Wit and I are doing right now, as far as getting off the grid, but I'm not going to. All you need to know is that Wit and I are back together again. Where are we going from here? I'd say likely. That's up to your imagination from here on out. All right, my spookies. That was Spin the Bottle. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but what if the game never stops? Well, good. Keep that feeling. Let it follow you down the hallway. Let it linger in the dark corners of your home, where the air feels just a little too cold. But there's a new mini-series to enjoy. Every Wednesday this month, we have a brand new mini-series called Banned. In fact, this Wednesday, Part 2 will be releasing. Imagine a snowed-in horror convention at a lodge that's turning into a pressure cooker. A desperate superfan, furious security, a blizzard that won't let anyone leave. And somewhere out there, in the storm, a body shows up with one word, carved into flesh, like a warning. Banned. So make sure you're subscribed. You can be on the edge of your seat all January. And while we're at it, keep your Fridays and Saturdays open. There's more where this came from.